It's hard to see the sun from a gutter view. Sin was causing X, remove it like a tooth. This our culture, but some people call it truth. Say the law was done, but we the walking proof. Ooh, speak it loud, I wanna save my family too. Ooh, yeah, they gon' like this one.
Rain pouring through the storm, y'all my repellent. I trust in y'all, I don't know what they been selling. It ain't no fee here, how they charging for him? I'm in the church making billions, how the hood look ridiculous still. Well, we rather pop a pill and go and kill. Sometimes by doing things they probably kill our mind. We can't be thinking cause we young, we got lots of time. I let it dead, bet it did, I'm trying to live it right. Jumped up in the water, I was dirty like a baby bottle. Y'all saved me like a firefighter. My house was on fire, ain't even know it. Bird to the ground, had to build it up. Y'all showed me the cornerstone, built on the rock like the Flintstones. Thank you, Yahuah.
Thank you, Yahuah, for the things that we know now. Let His light shine everywhere we go now. This our culture, but some people call it charm. Say the law is done, but we don't walk it through. Thank you, Yahuah, for the things that we know now. Let His light shine everywhere we go now. Yahuah, everywhere He in the gut. Just believe we can't make no sudden move.
Try to live this life all by myself, I straight my knees. Backwards to the wall, and I felt the breeze. Change direction, now my prayers are pointed to the east. I'm more quiet now, I chill and let the scripture speak. I'm walking tissue for Yahuah, cause it's people weak. Address the issue, plus we gotta keep the gutters clean. If you're not about the sheep, then brother, take a seat. Eliminate the dirty ways, he like it nice and neat. I put my heart out with it, passion rushing like a sea. I see these evil spirits passing, trying to sneak a peek. Can't let salvation pass me, man, I want to snatch a piece. I love my culture, Father, you the one I'm trying to please.
Thank you, Yahuah, for the things that we know now. Let His light shine everywhere we go now. This our culture, but some people call it charm. Say the law is done, but we don't walk it through. Thank you, Yahuah, for the things that we know now. Let His light shine everywhere we go now. Yahuah, everywhere He in the gut. Just believe we can't make no sudden move.
All praise, honor, all glory, found in Torah like it's Nemo. Breaking through barriers, Yahuah, everywhere we go. It's a long road, long ride like a limo. Need the full package, man, I'm done with the demos. Scripture speaking volumes, if you listen, it'll echo. We think we got assurance, not insurance, this ain't Geico. The scripts be the text, that's the message and the memo. Shot my old man down to make sure he was dead, I had to reload. They draw near with their ears, but they don't show it in their actions. Torah application, gotta apply with a passion. Ask you shall receive and don't regret it when you ask. Attracted to the light like a moth, no detaching it.
Thank you, Yahuah, for the things that we know now. Let His light shine everywhere we go now. This our culture, but some people call it charm. Say the law is done, but we don't walk it through. Thank you, Yahuah, for the things that we know now. Let His light shine everywhere we go now. Yahuah, everywhere He in the gut. Just believe we can't make no sudden move. No.
It's hard to see the sun from a gutter view. It was causing X.
Thank you, oh, thank you,
All I want to say to y'all is, God loves you, sister. I know it ain't always easy to face the decisions that you make, but this one right here, if you don't make the right decision, we all affected. Cause I know it's been difficult, and some have found nothing that gives them hope. We have to do more than spit simple quotes. Gotta build relationships without getting close. Abortions are leaving them miserable. Most of them feeling they couldn't cope. I told them adoption is the better option, like Arnold and Willis from Different Strokes. Desperation driving y'all to kill your babies. When you see sonograms, it can fill your babies. Your own conscience is telling you this is crazy. Don't ignore all the warnings that this is shady. There's other ways to deal with it, maybe. The child can be raised by a different lady. Got some who can't have no kids, they won't handle biz. This is love we be demonstrating. The cycle continues and it's disastrous. Women willingly laying back on the mattress, fornicating with men that they find attractive. Told him that he ain't have to with prophylactic. No birth control, a pill for morning after. Brought a pregnancy test, now you're in the bathroom. It be positive, now you act sorta baffled. You thinking I don't want this sorta hassle. Society swimming in sinful pride. Some try to justify this genocide. On one hand, we act like we're so civilized, but this show that man is so sick inside. You'll get criticized, saying murder's legitimized. Wicked business enterprise. Doctor grabbed the baby and then snipped the spine. We're not there to hear their cries. Have to take responsibility. If not, our community suffers penalty, causing injury to women mentally. You should be talking to them sentimentally. I know it's in us to do it differently. Let's make that word deadbeat history. Some of you so absent that if you died to your child, you wouldn't even be a memory. You had no problem with getting intimate, claiming that you love her when you hitting it. Tell you she pregnant, you say get rid of it. And if she had the kid, it's illegitimate. I ain't gonna even say that you ignorant. You just acting like a damn degenerate. How could you really be inconsiderate? She feel like you don't care even a little bit. That appointment at Planned Parenthood goes against God's plan for parenthood. Don't tell me the evil that happens there is good. There's a reason that they planted near the hood. Google Margaret Sanger and just take a look. This woman took a page out of Satan's book. Abortions control population numbers, and it's working just like she said it would. Little girls who love their baby doll become adolescents who killing babies now. No, it's not fun to be young and raise a child. Whoever think this okay is crazy foul. If you did this, I pray you repent to the Lord and hoping that you will commit yourself to helping other girls before they go and slay the innocent.
Don't leave me yet, Yahuah. I'm just vibing with you, families. I'm just vibing with you. Don't leave me yet, Yahuah.
Kato, you way too dope, kid.
The beautiful Akis out there. The beautiful queens. Daughters of Zion. I see you.
Let's go. You are my help in stormy weather. My shade under the tree. You make the gloomy days better. You Your word instructing me. Give me wisdom that sits by your throne. Send me patience as I continue to grow. You send the rain and you send the snow. Seasons change so we can grow. You make the dark days brighter. Your light casts the dark away. The old me shatters. Your spirit still remains. You are the great I am. The one love and righteousness. You are the song that I sing. You give me everything I need. You tell the demons scattered, no more bothering me. Then you send me scriptures to come and comfort me. Oh, I remember, I will never forget. No, I won't. The day you gave me the path to your righteousness. Let's go. I give all praise to you higher. No gods come before you higher. We bow our knees to you, Yeshaya. No death cannot hold you, Yeshaya. Oh, praise and glory to the great I am, the great I am. One king, one nation we stand. I give all honor to you, to you. I humbly come before you, for you. You are the King of mercy, mercy. Your grace sufficient for me.
Let's go.
You give me wisdom that sits by your throne. Send me patience as I continue
Yeah, I'm
to
here,
grow.
sis.
Continue to grow.
I'm here, big sis. All praise. All praise.
You are the song I sing. You're the very air I breathe. The very air I breathe.
Hey, I want y'all to vibe with me, sons and daughters of Zion. Just vibe with me, family. I have been up under my elders, families. That's the reason why I've been on my that has been showing me a lot of things through the scriptures, families, as well as families. We got a big debate that will be going on pretty soon, families. That's amongst the inside of Israel, and families is dealing with the food sacrifice, families. We do know that Yahushua HaMashiach is that one and only Lamb, and families. There was things that was in the scriptures that the prophet Jeremiah was trying to tell us when we was in our captivity, that that the scribes was using a lying pen. This is also going to where the Most High said there says that he will send a lying spirit to fool the wise, families, to fool the wise. And this lying spirit actually agreed to that order, family. So we must be careful about the things that is going on. And what has been going on, families, is that as the generations continues, families, until Hamashiach comes, and then after that, the Most High comes, there has been scribes, families, that has been putting false information within your history. That what Jeremiah was trying to tell Israel during them times. And families, we got that exact same thing going on in this hour as well. So it's good to be amongst your elders that can tell you about the times of ancient times, families, because the youth don't have no idea unless what? Somebody tells them. So what my elders had let me know, families, is that once you have put away all childish things, families, once you become a man, you will put away all childish things, families. This is when wisdom is ready to be embedded into your consciousness, families, where the Holy Spirit dwells at, families, that secret place. That secret place. That Ruach, families, is so powerful, families, that it can go to every part of your body. The arms, the legs, the head, the stomach, your feet, your ankles, your knees, your legs. It flows through you, families, that living water, which is the blood. Which is the blood. Only my elders can tell me this in this hour. It's not somebody the same age as me telling me these things, families. It's our elders. It's our imams, families, grandmother. That's what imam means in Hebrew. It means grandmother. How you spell it? It's EMAH. Imam. They will tell you who why the man is out there building kingdoms, families. Who is training the child? The imams, the actis. So I'm loving what I'm learning in this hour, families. It's absolutely amazing. I'm not trying to sit there and say that there's some people that's my age. I'm in my late 30s. 40 is coming up close to me in about 2 years. So families, the Most High Yah is showing us things that our elders has been trying to tell us, families. But we believe because we part of this new age that the youth is tending to be a slightly disrespectful towards the elders, man, because they believe that that people is supposed to adapt and adjust the times. You know what I'm saying, families? That is a lie. That is a lie. The Ancient of Days that I serve, families, that's why he is known and called by the Ancient of Days, families. He's telling you to remember the ancient paths. That way that we won't fall victimized or victim to what our ancestors fell for, families. I'm learning that. Who's training me that? Who's teaching me that in this hour? It's not somebody my age, families. It's the elders. That's who's training me in this hour, man. I'm getting trained, not only getting teach, families. I'm getting trained in this hour. I'm loving that right now, man. I'm loving that. I see beautiful Queen Riri everywhere, man, going through Israel right now, man. I don't too much do all that, you know what I'm saying, chatting no more like I used to. Because families, man, you got to be slow to speak, but quick to listen, man. Got to be slow to speak. So I don't have a lot to say no more like I used to. Because I was a busybody at that time. It had to take an elder to tell me that I was a busybody, even when I thought I wasn't doing nothing. I ain't out here doing nothing. I don't go to those clubs. I don't fornicate. I'm not out here cheating. I'm not, because I was being a busybody within my mind. That's how the spirit can try to other spirits, families. Who's training me like this in this album? My elders. People sit there and say you're not supposed to have respect of person, families, but for you to love thy neighbor, love is nothing but respect. Charity, man. Charity. That's what love is. It's nothing but giving respect to another other than yourself. The Most High Yah doesn't have respect of person. Why? Because he's going to come with like a double-edged sword, families. And families, he's going to judge the righteous and the wicked. This government, families, is something that a lot of our theologians, families, been trying to put out there, but people sit there and see the title theologian. They believe they mix with false doctrines. But families, some of them are not. They really, really not, man. But if you just concentrated on one thing, that's what the Most High says, that this is a walk. If you was concentrated on one thing, man, and you're not out here navigating through what the Most High Yah is trying to lead you to know, then you're going to be stuck in a standstill, man. Your waters is not moving. It's not going upstream or downstream. It's just still waters. No, the waters that flow through me, man, it's moving, man. It has a vibration. It has a frequency behind it, man. It has energy, power. I love that, man. Who's training me like this in this hour? My elders. Let's go to the next music joint, Yashua. I'm looking at the chat. Come on, beautiful Queen Riri. Sometimes you gotta sit back and observe. Key word. Observe. Beautiful answers, sis. Let's go.
We ain't taking no days off. We put our lives on the line with this perpetual grind. All this hard work gon' pay off. Our main objective is to free minds. We don't like to waste time. We don't ever show off. We rather move in silence. My people about to take off, but we gotta be united. Self-realization was a
in tune with myself, I never skip a beat.
Queen
I
Carlisle.
meditate
Let's go,
every day so I can keep my peace. But if you look into my soul, I promise you will see. The creator chillin', sitting on his throne, yeah. Oh, you heard me right, my body is his home, yeah. Hey, I'm a God, can't nobody tell me different. Me and my father are one and y'all just don't get it. My consciousness has ascended to a higher plane, so don't expect for me and you to ever think the same. I help others find ways to cope with their pain. I do it all out of love, I ain't got shit to gain. See, my purpose on this earth is more important than me, and if I don't fulfill it, you gon' get this work from my seeds. I gotta keep going hard till I'm 6 feet deep. My presence still gon' be felt, you can't destroy energy. We ain't taking no days off. We put our lives on the line with this perpetual grind. All this hard work gon' pay off. Our main objective is to free minds. We don't like to waste time. We don't ever show off. We rather move in silence.
Beautiful Queen Mama Miranda, beautiful Queen Hazel. I see you, Let's go, guys.
When I move, you hear crickets. Don't vouch for what I ain't witness. We ain't blow up where it lister. Time shorter than a midget. 180, not 360. Had to make a change. Why would I stay the same? Knowing that I was born to make a difference. No suit jacket, fatigue with the boots out the roof and through the sky. Can't spell unity partner without the U and I. Crucial decision for the tribe to see the do or don't. Ain't no middleman. Go to sheep, you gotta choose a side. Please, Father, let these verses have anointing in it, so we can touch the weary soul at the appointed minute. Live for the die about it. That ain't how it make you feel when you analyze the mission. Then it's pointless, really. 144 karat gold, perpetual. On the grind, get it out the dirt like a vegetable. This wicked world make me sick, still I'm all in. Work for the most high, never call in.
No days off. We put our lives on the line with this perpetual grind. All this hard work gon' pay off. Our main objective is to free minds. We don't like to waste time. We don't ever show off. We rather move in silence. My people about to take off, but we gotta be united.
Hey, shalom, I see shalom.
No strength in my members. Mighty tree was falling down, the most high yelling timber. Really had to cut me down, the youngin' out here proud with it. Crashing brother plane, cause I was up there in the clouds with it. Yeah, down to earth, he had to humble me. Had to get them shackles off my mind, it took a major key. Put your whole life up on the line, we call it major feat. I'ma do my chores because I want my father proud of me. On fire, you better book me with a fireman. Since I've been rolling with the sun, it's been Yahuah grand. That mighty lingo have a corner brother questioning, like how a brother with a past talking new again. I'm in the rule again, all I see is golden rose. I'm on my brew again, you know I had to hit the road. Workaholic, need some help, I may have an issue. I pray my brother see the kingdom, man.
We ain't taking no days off. We put our lives on the line with this perpetual grind. All this hard work gon' pay off. Our main objective is to free minds. We don't like to waste time. We don't ever show off. We rather move in silence. My people about to take off, but we gotta be united.
We gon' move in silence, we ain't moving like the Pharisees. Father is the only one that we should really care to please. Fire to taste it, cause the devil always there in me. My riches up in heaven, that's the only thing that care to me. You care about your soul, how you live when you was on this earth. God gon' judge you for when they put your body up in the dirt. Was you living right? Was you been the light? You ain't gon' make the kingdom, cause you know that you an Israelite. Let's get it right. Hey, gotta keep commandments. Gotta walk in the spirit, that's what he planned it. Gotta be a living sacrifice, you gotta change your life. You never know you can help somebody that's damaged. Hey, one to go, I've been looking for. Too much division in the truth, I keep we can't afford. We get together, we gon' see something we never saw. I'm trying to have the father saying this, what I've been waiting for.
Already, Yasharal. So, families, man, I am going to show y'all what our brother Yahuah is doing right now in this hour. Families, man, he's building, families. He's by himself. It's him and another king, another Aki, man. And families, man, they are slowly but surely, families, just trying to just build, families. And he's inviting people, families, to to come over, families. Check it out. See what they doing. See how much land they done bought. Pastor Dowd is as well, families. Another Aki families, elder part of Israel families that as well doing some wonderful work, families. Where he at is in Georgia. And families, he bought some land over there, families. That is more precious than fine gold, families. You is the true gold, families. Not something that you find in the soil, families, and you dig it up, families, and then you melt it, families, and you got pure gold. No, families, he's talking about something that he's made with his own image and his own likeness. That is more finer than pure gold, families. He's been talking about you. He always has been, families. It's just that some of us reject the truth when it's been brought to us for the first, second, third, or fifth time. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay because he understands that we was already left with that reprobated mind. Now we had to have been reborn again, families. And families, we are trying to transform ourselves, families, into the true ways that he wanted us to be from the beginning, families, when he created Adam. When he created Adam. So families, man, I am going to show you that. But families, I got to show you Jeremiah chapter 8, families, about that lying, that lying pen, that lying spirit, families, that came into the mind, that came into the conscience, families, that secret place where the Ruach HaKodesh, families, dwells in, families, to give you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, families. This right here is supposed to give you the concept and misconcepts of what you call reality. But who's training you this in this hour, man? The ones that's training me is my elders in this hour. I give respect to what respect's due. You don't lose the respect until somebody cross you. Well, families, us as man or humanity, we cross the Most High. So how can we get back to our first love? How can we be brought back to our first love? Christ's been trying to show us the principles, families. Man has to have morals and values, families. That's what the Most High characteristics is based upon. A true MVP. A true MVP. Let's go. Jeremiah chapter 8. This is that lying spirit, families, and people thinking that this lying spirit done went back to the heavens and just did his job when he came down the first time. No, this lying spirit is still here, families. These spirits don't have no age like mankind does. The dagger in this, families, is verse 8, but we're going to read it into its context. Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 1. At that time said Yahuah, they shall bring out the bones of the kings of Yehudah, and the bones of his princes, that means his sons, and the bones of the priests, those that was teaching them, and the bones of the prophets, those that the Most High called, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem, that's everybody else, out of their graves. And they shall spread them before the sun and the moon and all the host of the heavens. Now, when he says the host of the heavens, who is this host? It will be the stars, families, the Malachims that they will call them, the angels of light, whom they have loved and whom they have served, and after whom they have walked, because this is like a marathon. Let's go, families, vibe with me. And whom they have sought, and whom they have worshipped. Everything that's in to go to Revelation chapter 12. They shall not be gathered, nor be buried. They shall be dug upon the faces of the earth. These are those that was held righteous, families. And the Most High Yah sat there and says, because based upon your righteousness, your white linen, your garments, families, you're not going to be not gathered, nor be buried. They shall be dug up from the face of the earth, and the death shall be chosen rather than life by all the residue of them that remain of this evil family. What evil family is he talking about? Is he talking about just a particular tribe or race or ethnicity? No, families. No. You got good people that's part of this family, and you what they call a righteous branch, and you got the tares, families, those that's part of this a wicked branch. The tares, my brothers and sisters. He's talking about them two families. You only got good and evil families. It ain't all what we seem it to be, because you got over 70 nations that's on this planet. No, the Most High telling you about two different types of families. Those that are righteous and those that are wicked. Let's go. And the death shall be chosen rather than life by all the residue of them that remain of this evil family, which remain in all the places whither I have driven them, said the Lord of hosts, Yahuah Sabaoth, the God of armies. The Lord of hosts, that's what the Lord of hosts mean. But we're going to talk about these lying scribes, families. Not only they had that lying pen, families, these thoughts had to come into their mind, their conscious, their mindset, families, for them to write what they wrote down. Moreover, Salaki, moreover, thou shalt say unto them, thus said Yahuah, shall they fall and not arise? Shall he turn away and not return? When then is this people of Jerusalem slidden back by the perpetual backsliding? They hold fast deceit. They refuse to return. I hearkened and heard, but they spake not aright. No man repented him of his wickedness, saying, what I have done. Everyone turned to his own course, as the horse rushes into the battle. Come on, check this out, families. Now that right there, especially verses 4-6, is bringing you back from when Moses had went into Mount Sinai, families. When the Most High Yah had put into the wilderness for 40 years, families. That take us back to when Moshe had went to Mount Sinai, families, to go get them commandments. And when he came down after them 40 days, families, and he saw what Aaron and the rest of Zion was doing, families, Yisrael was staking legging, families, around a golden calf. The question is, did Aaron repent? Do we got record that's recorded that Aaron repented? The record that we do have is that Moshe dropped the tablets, families, and he had to go back up to Mount Sinai, families. But the Most High was done with us at that point in time. So Moshe sacrificed his life, families, for a whole nation of people that did not only did not wanted to go back to Egypt, but they didn't even repent for staking legging up under a golden calf. Do we got records that Aaron repented? But he still became what? A high priest after Moshe death, correct? Let's continue. I hearkened and heard, but they spake not aright. No man repented him of his wickedness. It's saying it in the scriptures. Jeremiah is telling you this almost 600 to 1,000 some years later, man. Check this out, man. I hearkened and heard, but they spake not aright. No man repented of his wickedness, saying, what I have done. Everyone turned to his course, as the horse rushed into battle. Yea, the stork in the heaven, the Shamayims, knowing her appointed times, and the turtle and the crane of the shallow observed the time of their coming. But my people know not the judgment of Yahuah. He's telling us, families, that we got unbalanced from nature, families. The birds and the bees and squirrels and animals, families, they don't sit here and go based upon a age limit when they birthday coming, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. They ain't mess with all these pagan holidays. But they do observe the times, families, what they call seasons, families, that King Solomon was trying to tell you in the book of Ecclesiastes. They know the times, families. And because they are in tune with nature, we got out of nature, families, because, families, we could tend to eat everything, families, that we're not supposed to be consuming in our bodies, man. We do that, families. Not only we doing it with the flesh, because that is our sin. That's why the Most High put these skins on us, families. So do you truly love the skin that you are in, families? When the spirit and the flesh been warned against each other, families? Or is it the spirit that's within inside of you, family? This is what you're supposed to love. These are questions, man, that my elders be asking us, fam. These are the questions that our elders be asking us, fam. When I be going to my classes, man, our ancestors, our elders back in the days didn't have all this social media, these distractions, these where you can press a live button whenever you get ready, families. Just so that you can give a disillusion or a illusion to your brothers and sisters on knowledge, families, that you probably don't even understand. because you haven't went into the weightier matters. What are the weightier matters other than your own understanding? I love it when they go to when they give us this. And families, we have answers in our holy scriptures. But families, he's going to tell you something that you need to understand in verse 8. How do you say we are wise and the law of Yahuah is with us? With a question mark. Why would he sit there and say that you are wise and the law of Yahuah is with you? Lo, certainly in vain made he it. The pen of the scribes is in vain. What do that mean, that the pen of the scribes is in vain? Who is he talking to? Take you back to Matthew chapter 24, huh? Con. That tax collector, huh? Con. He was out there putting extra hardship on his brothers and sisters, and he chose to become a tax collector until Hamashiach came. These things are beautiful, man, when I be understanding these things, man. I'm loving what he's showing me, families, and what we all supposed to be embracing, families. But because some of us truly don't understand his true existence. You know what I'm saying? We make things that's supposed to be supernatural, and we make it that it's make believe. No, families, these are what we call miracles, man. That's why it's supernatural, families. Man can't do it with their own hands, families. The temple that the Most High Yah families live on, families, is not made by man's hands, families. That's why you had the pharaohs back in the days with being the pyramids and everything else. So, families, if we don't understand history, then we're not going to understand the future or that gift, which is today, that present day. That's why it's the present. That's why it's called the present. It's a gift to you. Because tomorrow, the next second, minute, hour, or whatever, is not promised to neither one of us, man. So you must stay humble at all times. Show respect to your brothers and sisters in this hour while you have the opportunity to do so, man. Get them they flowers while they here, man. Get them they flowers while they here. They could be a brother and sister that you knew about from a live 3 months ago, and you didn't even know, man, that they were sick in a hospital or none of it like that, man. Because why? Distractions. What's distraction? What type of distractions are keeping you away from the rest of Yahuah or anybody else, families, that is part of the body of Hamashiach? What's keeping you away from that? Because, you heard this one brother or sister that is something that you didn't agree with or whatever, and so you're going to stay far away from that brother and sister because you don't have that understanding. Maybe the Most High Yah sent that brother or sister to you so you can get that understanding. The weightier matters, man. So that's why I have been patient. I've been humble. I can't do what I used to do because I know better now. I know better now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have things that I would be wanting to show my brothers and sisters, like, y'all, guess what Yahuah has been doing in this hour? So I use music and different informative clips, families, that I know that I ain't gonna get a strike on, because, families, you can't play everybody's stuff. You can't, but they say they in that truth. But when you start playing their stuff, families, you done got a copyright on some stuff that you thought was supposed to be free. What? Oh, well, everybody got to make their money. And, if you supporting the ministry and stuff like that, then, do it out the counters of your heart. Charity didn't mean that you supposed to give people money, man. It's the love that you love is free, man. It don't got no price on that, but it's very valuable. You don't put no price on that, man. People be going off, families. People be going off. So these pens of the scribes, families, was in vain. These are the exact same scribes, families, that gave us some of our scriptures, families, and then took some of the books out, families. And families, they scattered them on all four corners of this earth, families. They scattered them, families. You can't be content to just that one book, families. It already sat there and said in the book that we do have, families, that Yahushua had did so much that the books couldn't contain it all, families. He done so much that it couldn't contain it all, families. Our books got scattered, y'all. It got scattered. And you having elders that took them 20 years, 15 years, almost 30 years, families. You know what I'm saying? To come up with some of the information, lined it up with different dispensations and eras and ages and what was going on in them times, and lined it up into what we got going on right now. And that's a lot. That is a lot of work, families. But families, it's not even to a point to where that it's going to be burdensome toward you. You're not, no, you get excited when all this information come out. You get excited, man. I love that, man. Families, not knowing that Jeremiah was trying to tell us about these scribes. These scribes. And look what the Most High Yah said in verse 9. When he sat there and said that the wise men are ashamed. They are dismayed and taken. Lo, they have rejected the word of Yahuah. And what wisdom is in them? That's why I named the lie, families. Those that are called by his word and his name. The word is going to give you, is going to lead you towards his name, family. I'm loving that, man. So, families, this was just supposed to be like a music session. I do got some information that I do want to show everybody, man. And families, it's going to be powerful. Yeah, if y'all vibe with me, families. I just want to show you what Israel has been doing in the last couple of months. And families, man, we have doing some wonderful things. Let me show you Yahuah. I've been trying to say my brother's name right. And show you what he is doing right now in this hour. While you got a lot of people behind the screen is doing a lot of talking, you do have most people out there, families, that is actually building. Families, they telling you where you can go get lumber wood, families, for the free or for a low price. You can go get manure so you can start your garden, families, and go back to what the Most High want us to do, is get in tune with nature, families. Families, why do an innocent animal have to die based upon man's sin? But it's not trying to tell people. It's not trying to tell your brothers and sisters, man, you have to become like a vegetarian or anything. But at the same token, families, why do something else has to die? And then we go out here and we sell it on the market, families, based upon what we doing. That's why Hamashiach came down, families, because he was tearing down almost a multi-billion-dollar industry at that point in time, man. Hamashiach was tearing that stuff down, families. And when the elders was bringing that out to me, I was like, wow, why you think he flipped over the tables, families? It was because they was gambling inside the church. He saw what the whole system was doing. He saw what the whole system was doing. Not only was they doing it outside of the temple, families, but they was doing it in the outer courts, the inner courts, all the way into the throne room of Yah. You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make it up. So this is our brother. That was in March. Let me show you how they've been progressing, families. Let me show you how they've been progressing. Boom. When the Most High Yah give him a time to where he quit working, families, a man that don't work, a man don't eat, man. And when they get done working, families, he might do a live, families, and do like a spiritual message, families. Go into the Bible, show you things that the Most High Yah done showed him. But families, this brother's out in the middle of nowhere, families, and out there building. Went and got a water tank and some more stuff, families. Went and got a water tank and some more stuff, family. He actually got a section over there, family, where they got nothing but like a pounds of manure, family, so they can start tilling the ground. Then the Most High Yah took Adam to the east of the garden because the earth and the ground itself, no man knew how to till it. Show you how you progressing throughout the video. They done a lot of work, man. They done a lot of work.
Have you ever seen that much power in an air nail gun? Well, it's not an air nail gun. It's a cordless nail gun. But this one right here is super serious. Strong enough to lift it up?
Oh, what is it?
Hold on, go down there.
Go down here? So I can be strong?
Up. Level. So we gotta be doing something right.
Show you a little bit more.
Alright fam, so I'm gonna show y'all what we got going on. As you can see, we got some of the floor joists in, but we don't got them nailed in. I just put them up here just to see how it was gonna look. It's 16 on center. Oh man, let me see.
All praise. All
I got
praise.
8 up here so
show y'all
far.
that water
I
tank.
gotta go to Home Depot and get 5 more boards. But once I get them all up, what I'm gonna do? We have tomatoes.
Families. My wife, she's inside where she's doing her studies, and she do this like maybe she been consistent so far. So all praise to the Most High. So I'm actually outside, so I'm using the Wi-Fi. And I'm enjoying nature as well, families. And that's when I decided that I just want to do a live and just show y'all, man, all the stuff that I'm doing. So it's going to kind of be buffering because I'm not inside the house. So I'm actually using my Wi-Fi. So just stay with me, families. We're going to learn some stuff. We haven't got to the spiritual stuff yet, families. I'm just showing you how the Most High Yah is using certain individuals in His hour, families. Families, that everybody is teaching in His hour, families, but ain't nobody actually putting in that work. And I'm seeing that. And so when our elders is telling us, like, what are you doing? Do you know how many teachers we got out here on the planet right now? But ain't nobody trying to build. But then, families, there's videos of people out here in a small group that's actually literally building. They might not be teaching a lot, but they building.
Oh, they're growing right here. We have a blackberry tree.
That's real, man. Like, come on now.
Thornless.
If you fit in them shoes, man, wear it, man. Wear it.
Coming in.
There's a lot of us that's not fitting them shoes, man. So we give most people a something different than what they actually see, man, because what they see is what you do behind the screen. And just because you go out there and you do a little this or that, here and there, come on, man. Like, there's more to do. And I'm starting to see that. That's why I love the patience that the Most High has for us, man.
Alright, so I'm gonna just show y'all around a little bit, show you what we have done and the things that we're planning to do. In this spot right here, we're gonna all the mulch you see right now, we got this for free. There's actually a place in Oklahoma City where they have this big pile of mulch. Mulch pile.
All right, pause. All right, family. So I just wanted to show you that, families. I'm going to take you out to Pastor Dow. Show you, families. I got more people. I have a lot more people, man. A lot more people, man. But I gotta let the session continue going. So I just want to show y'all some stuff.
All right, we're up at the top of the hill.
This is Pastor Dow out there in Georgia. This is what he done so
Brother
far.
Rich right there. And what Brother Bud and him has been doing, this is our brand new. It ain't new no more. But this is by far, I think, at least one of the best laser levels that we had. The one you brought out here was pretty good too.
Yes, sir.
But
that's a nice one. That's a good one.
This is a good one. This is we usually deal with the Bosch, but this is a Stabilo. This is a German-made level right here. And this I don't mind telling you, the learning curve on this one is a hell of a lot more steeper than the one on Bosch. Same concept and everything applies, but this is a pretty sophisticated level. Don't mind telling you that. See, made in Germany. So if you know it's made in Germany, it's definitely a hell of a lot better than America. Oh yeah, and there's the individual remote unit right there. You can control things by it. It's just, and the legs are even a serious upgrade from the Bosches or whatever you use. But anyway, what we have here, and if I get these numbers wrong, Bud, you tell me. This is our metal building. We purchased this metal building early part of this year?
Yes, sir.
And it took, 3 months for it to get here?
Come on, Pastor Dow. I have really been following his story and the certain members that actually, man, volunteered families to come out there and help him families build this stuff, man, from the ground up. The beautiful blessing about Pastor Dow, Salaki, at the location that the Most High Yah gave him is that he gave them a community of people that was willing to do it for free, families, because they could see what the Most High Yah is doing in his hour. And families, he gave them connected to a lake. They are connected to a lake, my brothers and sisters. And all that land belongs to them. All that land belongs to them, families. So they don't actually have to go too far for water source, just in case if one day, families, the government decide that they want to just shut everything down again. Most people have a community, families, to where their families, it doesn't matter what y'all do. They got solar panels and everything, man. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. I thank the Most High Yah for letting me see things like this, man. Because families, you can read the scriptures all day long, families. Is that truly going to be working? You know what I'm saying? Let your spirit work. You know what I'm saying? Just because you constantly read. That's why James and James 2 family said there, let's go. Let's go. Let's be about it. That's why James is trying to tell you, families, the big brother of Hamashiach didn't even believe that his little brother, man, families, was the son of the Most High Yah. But then he started realizing that, families, later on. James chapter 2. We're not telling everybody to do this. The Most High Yah is commanding us to do this. He's commanding this to us, man. And I thank the Most High Yah for that understanding. We're going to read 15. The dagger in this, families, is verse 18. That's the dagger. Let's go. If a brother or sister be naked and destituted of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled. Notwithstanding ye, give them not those things which are needful to the body. What doeth it profit? That's why you can't always love that skin that you was in, families. You can't love that skin that you was in is what brought sin in, families. And now we die. We went from being immortal to mortal. Now man has to die. Yes, you are gods. but you will die like men. Even so, faith, if it have not works, is dead being alone. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. So this is how you letting people know. Doesn't matter who's around you or whatever, regardless if they understand or not. Oh well, you know what I'm saying. Family, stay in formation. You get what I'm saying? That's the reason why the Most High Yah is giving you these. It's no longer a mystery no more. All things are being revealed in a certain time and season, and this is our time to reveal a revelation of a mystery that Paul was trying to say a long time ago before he got persecuted. So that's one thing I have been seeing, that the Most High Yah use a man, families, to display his work, and we will glorify his name. I see that. Everybody always talk about that the spirit is going to, yes, the spirit needs a body. It needs something to work through. That way that we can see his works. Period. So I'm going to show you my faith by my works. I'm going to show you that what's working through me is that one only set apart Ruach, families. And I'm going to show it by my faith of how I display things and how I treat my brothers and sisters and what I do while I'm living, man. That way that everything that I'm doing will be documented and be written down. And then after that, he's going to bring that what they call shalom to you. He's going to bring perfect peace upon you. So I see that, families. I see that. You're no longer a child, families. Once you come into this truth, you slowly but surely is going to put away all childish things, man. And you're going to walk into the function that the Most High made you. Either you as a man or a woman. You're going to walk fully in that function. Let's get a music joint.
I'm a child of the living God. I was born in a war when I got a little older. I had to pick a side. Either I was gonna rock with Lucifer or the Most High God. I'ma keep it a G with y'all. I chose to stay alive. All that is that I was doing went good for my soul. I used to be out in the streets chasing all the hope, making money, living lawless, doing show after show. Couldn't nobody tell me nothing. It's just the way it goes. When you lost in a world full of lies and deception, waking up tired from alone out of sex, and never caught some from the girls that I mess with. When it got tested, woo, with a blessing. Afterwards, I got a calling from God. The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He told me that I was a Hebrew by blood, and now it is time that I awaken out of my sleep, turn from my sins, renew my mind, try this again, study the book, follow his laws. I started to see life through a new lens. I do not regret the decision I made. I gotta say I came a very long way. The spirit is on me, it won't go away. Glory to Abba for helping me change. Yeah. Abba, I'm so glad you changed me. My life is so much better ever since I came clean. I see all my partners, they still on that same thing. But I have faith in them like you had in me. I just try to see the good in everybody. I stay illuminated, all this light inside me. I love saving souls, that's one of my hobbies. Abba,
you ain't never been a killer, never been an alcoholic. But when it came to learning bros, Karatazar was a scholar. It came so easy, it was insane. So many don't remember names. It got to the point it was a sport to me. The truth is I was playing games, juggling. Even told them I was loving them, and they ain't meaning not one time. It was only so I could get up in them. Truth, I was just stuck in the loop, felt like I could never get loose. I was so strangled and tangled in sin, I swear I was hanging myself from a noose. But praise the highest for the juvenile, cause I was headed to hell with the juveniles. Really about to be a hot boy, 500 degrees like juvenile. I'm glad I dodged that, and I wish I could call all them bras back and beg for forgiveness and tell them sincerely I wanna just show you what God's at. Hey, if you can change me, then he can change you. I was a dead man, now I'm brand new. That man cut the beat. I wanna say this from my heart. I wanna give praise to the Abba Ahaya for giving his son a new start.
Abba, 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 I'm so glad you changed me. My life is so much better ever since I came clean. I see all my partners, they still on that same thing. But I have faith in them like you had in me. I just try to see the good in everybody. I stay illuminated, all this light inside me. I love saving souls, that's one of my hobbies. Abba, 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 I'm so glad you changed me. Yeah.
I just wanna be where you are. I feel alone in the dark. Can I be where you are? I'm giving you my heart. I know we're gonna go far. You humble me, yeah, I really need it. You told the old me to beat it. So now I can dwell and be where you are. I feel alone in the dark. Can I be where you are? Can I be where you are? I'm giving you my heart. I know we're gonna go far. You humble me, yeah, I really need it. You told the old me to be it. So now I can dwell and be where you are. Be where you are. That day I broke in pieces. Oh my soul, why art thou disquieted in me? Hold thou in a higher, renew your strength. Your shield is a higher, the covenant. Why hast thou forsaken me? And why hast thou left me alone? My hope is only in a higher. Be still, be still. You are not forsaken. Be still, be still. I feel alone in the dark. Can I be where you are? I'm giving you my heart. I know we're gonna go far. You humble me, yeah, I really need it. You told the old me to be it. So now I can dwell and be where you are. I apologize, I lost my faith. I apologize, I lost my hope. I apologize, I stopped doing the things you told me to do. I apologize, I stopped fasting. I apologize, I stopped reading. I apologize, I stopped praying to you. My hope is in you. I give my life to you. You are my lifeline. You are my strength. Through Christ's perfection, your grace remains. I feel alone in the dark. Can I be where you are? Can I be where you are? I'm giving you my heart. I know
song, families, before we go to some powerful information by Billy Israel, families. The information that he brought out was 2 videos, families, and it was absolutely mind-blowing. This right here goes to the daughters of Zion. How would you like the song?
That's how it be sounding though. So real.
To the daughters of Sarah. And your brothers love you, man.
Treat it like it's gonna be your last one. Love me like I'm gonna be the last one. Everything I do is with a passion. Baby, I need proof, no talk, just action. I ain't listening to a thing they saying. I can tell you want to keep me focused. I know this, you chose me, hey, what's right here, not once, not when we do this, he increase everything that we got. If I see that you need it, then I'm getting fine. I'll be on my way, I'm doing 100 miles. My Shiach is coming, so let's get it right. Get it right. I can show you how to rock your room, so you can't ever say that you don't know. Grab my hand and I truly go. I was staying with you in the cold. We been locked in, we been so focused. I know this, you know this, I know this, you know it. It's sometime. We on the way to Zion. Keeping our feet, we rise again. 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 I wanna let you know, like, yo, I see it. I see your efforts. I see your sacrifices. And ain't none of them are in vain. Like, none of this is for nothing. It ain't always easy, and it doesn't always feel the best when you're going through changes, when you elevate, especially spiritually, and especially mentally. But just understand that the Most High see it all, and He is so just to reward you in your due time. In the right time, He will reward you. He will continue to increase you and elevate you. That's a fact. I love everything you're doing. I love everything I see you doing. I love where I see you going. You know, keep going, shawty, like, for real, keep going. I love you forever. And I mean it forever. Forever, ever, yeah. Don't play with her. Don't play with shawty, man. She is not one of them. Let's go. Let's go.
All praises, families. This song right here, families, man, was dedicated to a special daughter of Sarah in our Aki's life, families, where sometimes, families, I do see that. That's just not only in Zion, but it's as well almost a little bit of everywhere, man. Doesn't matter if you claim Zion or not. Women are looking for high class value men. A man that could put something on the table, families, other than knowing that she was created, families, to be that real. She was created to be that helpmate, families. Adam was doing everything correctly in the garden, families. But the Most High Yah sat there and says that man should not be alone. He sought that man should not be alone, families. But now women done came to a point in their lives, families, where families they're not going to settle for less. You know what I'm saying? So the man has to work 2 times, 3 times, 4 times harder, families, to actually be that image that this woman is desiring to have, that's going to rule over her life. And it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. That a man, not only he has to be persecuted from his enemies, that he has no clue who they are. He just know he fighting against the spirits of the spirit world, you know. But he don't have no clue who these spirits are. When the Most High Yah tells you what these spirits come from, tells you the certain deities of these spirits and everything, man, and everything. The Most High Yah tells you these things, but we fail to understand the value of the Most High, that we put our own values in front of Him. And not only the women do it, the men do it as well. Because the man want a woman to be what? Submissive. Which she's supposed to do that. She is. But are you going to show full respect of her submission once she submit to you, because she know that you're gonna lead her to Big Bro, the King of Kings and the Lords of Lords, Hamashiach. She knows you're gonna lead her straight to him, because Hamashiach is gonna lead us to Dad, man, to our Father, our Abba Yah. So that's when a woman is going to be fully submissive to her king, families. Because the Most High Yah sat there and says that we are kings and priests on this earth. Correct? Correct. But women are looking for men of value. That's what they're looking for. You know, people can sit there and say that that's not all women. I'm not talking about all women. I'm talking about those that claim being part of Zion, Yasharal. There's women that claim to be Yasharal and they still don't want to submit. They want to be held upon of a pedestal. And they want to make sure that the man that's going to hold them upon this pedestal has value. Yes, indeed. And guess who else they teaching? They teaching the youth. The women that's going to come before them or after them. They teaching them, man. You know what I'm saying? They going off. They going all the way off. Let's go to the next music joint before we go to our informative video. Told you, families, you got a lot of teachers out here, man. Not just those that's in Israel. We got teachers everywhere, families. Be careful. Be very careful.
It's for y'all, Charlotte. Just fire with me. I'm the one that crossed the sea, led by fire in the night. I'm the one that killed Christ, so I'm dying in sin with the nails in his hand. Yeah, I'm nailed to the end. I'm the one that killed Paul. I'm in debt to the Lord. Hit myself in the trees, then I went and blamed Eve. Guys, please show me grace. I'm not ready for the lake. I repent to this day. I'm the one that built the calf, then was healed by the staff. How could the angels relate? I was stole from my gates. I'm the one that's a slave. Y'all free me from the jail. It get cold in the cell, even colder in hell. When we be avenged, so much blood on their ends. I'm the one that built the temple out of gold, not silver. While we marrying their kids, putting rings on the pigs. You the one that was chose, turned from soil into gold. What's a fish to a bow? What's the dead to a crow? I'm the one that crossed the sea, led by fire in the night. I'm the one that killed Christ, so I'm dying in sin with the nails in his hand. Yeah, I'm nailed to the end. I'm the one that killed Paul. I'm in debt to the law. Hit myself in the trees, then I went and blamed Eve. Yeah, please show me grace. We need to bethink ourselves in the land where we were sold slaves, and repent and make supplication unto Yah in this land, saying, we have sinned, we have committed wickedness. And Yah, forgive thy people that have sinned against you, and all the transgressions wherein they have transgressed against you. And give them compassion where they were sold slaves, so that their enemies might have compassion on them as well. Cause I'm the one that wasn't changed. Just imagine the cage. Saw my own mother hang. Just imagine the pain. Just imagine the rage. See my own father whip. He ain't do what they said, so they wanted him dead. See my own brother peel from his head to his heels. Was his skin worth the purse? Were my fingers worth shirts? Could've picked it yourself, or at least gave me shirts without holes. Gave me parts of the wealth. No, I won't just forgive. So much anger inside. Why they children alive?
Feel, but I have something to say that's true and that's real. And that's an I'm sorry for how we've behaved, starting the very moment that you were enslaved. Since we came in our boats and shackled your hands and shipped you back here to work on our land.
I'm the one that crossed the sea, led by fire in the night. I'm the one that killed Christ, so I'm dying in sin with the nails in his hand. Yeah, I'm nailed to the end. I'm the one that killed Paul. I'm in debt to the law. Hit myself in the trees, then I went and blamed Eve. Yeah, please show me. Please show me.
Just follow with me. Yeah, please show me. Just follow with me.
All praises, all praises. One of my favorite songs, families, Israel to Yah. Israel to Yah. All right, families, man, we is going to go to the topic that is at hand, families. I do want to play 2 other music joints, families, but families, man, we going to play them other 2 music joints, families, right after this informative video. We do got Benny Yah Israel, families, dropped this off like maybe a month ago, and it's powerful. Very, very powerful, families. Is once again, families, you got our elders that are giving us history, families, that you don't read in school, even when you go to college and you get your degrees. I bet you ain't heard nothing like this. Why is the Most High Yah using this time and in this hour right now, families, to reveal these things? He's not open back open them books, families. He told Daniel to close them books. Them books are back open, man. Let's go.
Of the mixed blood. In Spain, the people, in spite of their... Hey, Shalom family. I pray that you're doing well. I first would like to thank all of our supporters and viewers for patiently waiting for the next installment of Hidden Hebrews and the upcoming 7-hour, one-of-a-kind, blockbuster hit movie, Reclaiming the Throne. Yah willing, I pray that it's available at a media outlet near you real soon. And regards to Hidden Hebrews, even though it's not quite ready yet, and my preference is to wait until after the blockbuster movie's release, I do, however, or I would like to premiere the first 30 minutes of the next Hidden Hebrews tonight. Now, the first 30 minutes is a bit of a recap of the previous episode before it gets into some of the groundbreaking discoveries that I pray will shock and awaken Israel. However, I'm sure you'll notice a few differences in this installment. Also tonight, we will review a brand new hit song by Lorvins called Who I Am. Now, this Lorvins masterpiece is available on iTunes and other media outlets today with partnership with Hidden Hebrews. So please be sure to pick up your copy after Shabbat and support. Now, without further ado, I'd like to show you the first 30 minutes plus of Hidden Hebrews, the time of the Gentiles. Shalom family, it's your brother Benaiah Ben Israel, coming to you with the next episode of Hidden Hebrews. Family, it's been an incredible journey so far, and we've learned so much about who we are and where we came from. We learned about our painful past, about the tragedy of our forefathers in Europe before the start of the transatlantic slave trade. And we learned that we have a homeland and a promise to someday return home. Well, family, I hope you enjoy the next episode of Hidden Hebrews. And be sure to hit that like button. Stay blessed, family, and shalom.
Grandma used to tell me you don't know where you're going unless you know where you came from. If you search it diligently, it'll make a better you. Yeah, I'm sitting on the pew with a stone face, listening to this preacher, what a disgrace. Something feels so different from what I heard yesterday, from an Israelite along the way. An Israelite along the way. From an Israelite along the way. Tell me who I am. I've been searching for so long, I don't understand. Everywhere I seem to go, people shake their heads at me. Tell me what is going on. Someone hold my hand. Please tell me who I am. Tell me who I am. Tell me who I am. As I begin to read the scriptures, it all came together for me. Someone's been lying through their teeth. They've been misleading and twisting prophecy. I can see that my people is at the bottom of the barrel. I see myself the more I read it every hour. I can see things more clearly, the wretched part of me. Is it me? Is it me? Could it be? Could it be? I can't believe. Can somebody tell me who I am? I've been searching for so long, I don't understand. Please make me understand. Everywhere I seem to go, people shake their heads at me. Tell me what is going on. Someone hold my hand. Please tell me who I am.
Who am I? Before I came into the truth of knowing that we are the children of Israel, well, I believed the lies of our origin and the fable of our beginnings. And as a result, I too became lost. I instead believed that I was an African American, a Hamite, a colored man. And that's what I taught my children. And then something happened. And then he came and took off my mask and exposed my true identity that lied beneath the surface. It was always there, waiting for the right time and the right place to be revealed. That I am an Israelite, the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The Most High Yah's holy, set-apart people, reborn. The time of the Great Awakening. Stone monuments, cranial analysis, ancient descriptions, DNA and first-hand accounts. All point to an unavoidable truth that the Spanish and Portuguese brews were black. As the following reference reads, and it reads, on entering Portugal from Spain, the traveler is forcibly struck with the difference between the two countries. The dark eyes, the black hair, and brown complexion are the only traits of resemblance between the Portuguese and Spaniards. The Portuguese have thick lips, noses something of the Negro form, black and often curly hair, and their figures, and above all, their hands, show signs of the mixed blood. In Spain, the people, in spite of their dark complexion and eyes, have at least a European look. On entering Portugal, the traveler is, however, agreeably surprised by finding himself among a more cultivated people. And the next reference reads, and it reads, King John II in 1492 expelled all the Jews to the island of St. Thomas, which had been discovered in 1471, and to other Portuguese settlements on the continent of Africa. And from these banished Jews, the black Portuguese, or the Negro Portuguese, as they are called, and the Jews in Luango, who are despised even by the very Negroes, are descended. In other words, the brews that were sent to the west coast of Africa were descended from Negroes. And the next reference reads, Jews, the name given to the Hebrews after their return from their captivity in Babylon. They are a religious people fond of home and their children, shrewd in money matters and intellectual. In form and feature, they are short with dark hair and eyes, a swarthy complexion, full lips, and a characteristic nose. And the next reference reads, are Jews white like you? No, replied I, rather more like yourself, very dark. And the next reference reads, and reads, thus the black color is found not only in individuals as the black Jews of Portugal, but in the tribes as the Baqueras on the Red Sea, whose hair and character are perfectly Semitic. And now, let's take a look at the Baqueras people who have the same black color found in the Jews of Portugal. And yes, as you can see, they are a black Negro people. And on to our next reference, which reads, he was of a middle size. He had good features in his face, the skin somewhat black, black curly hair, long eyebrows, and of the same color, so that one might easily know by his looks that he was descended from Portuguese Jews. And the next reference reads, the Spanish Jew is always dark complexion. And another reference reads, "'Tis also a vulgar error that the Jews are all black, for this is only true of the Portuguese Jews, who marrying always among one another, beget children like themselves, and consequently the swarthiness of their complexion is entailed upon their whole race, even in the northern regions." It's important to note that not only do old references confirm Spanish and Portuguese brews are black, we also have supporting archaeological evidence such as cranial analysis performed on skulls of ancient Spanish and Portuguese brews, Evidence identifies Spanish and Portuguese brew skulls as dolichocephalic, which is the description of the Negro skull today. As the following reference reads, anthropologists are accustomed to dividing it into two parts well distinguished, the dolichocephalic and the brachiocephalic. To the first type, which is the dolichocephalic, belong the Sephardim Jews, the Spanish and Portuguese brews, even the larger part of the Jews of Italy and southern France. An avalanche of evidence makes the description of Spanish and Portuguese brews being black a far-going conclusion. These brews were the same brews that were taken by King Nebuchadnezzar into Spain in roughly 597 BC. Another group of captive nobles from Jerusalem were taken in 70 AD, the day General Titus burned the city of Jerusalem to the ground. Now, you need to know that back then, Jerusalem was inhabited by a special people, a people endowed with certain powers. I guess you could call them, how should I say, superheroes. Or you could call them Yasabim, Eleazar, Samath, Abishai, Deborah, Benaiah, and Asahel. And when they worked together, no nation could stand before them. But unfortunately, on that day, their bands of brotherhood were broken, and they fought against each other and fell under the iron boot of Rome. Descendants of Rome burned the Most High Yah's holy city to the ground. Nothing was spared, and not one stone was left upon another. The blood of Judah and Jerusalem ran through the streets. Two-thirds would perish by the fire and the sword, and 1/3 would go into captivity. As spoken by Hamashiach, the prophecy had come to pass. Which are in Judea flee into the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. And so the brews were taken to Spain and Portugal by King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon and General Titus of Rome. Both groups of brews were royal blood descendants of King David. As the following reference reads, The Spanish Jews maintained that they had been transported hither after the destruction of the temple by the Babylonian conqueror Nebuchadnezzar. And the next reference reads, the Roman governor of Spain begged the conqueror of Jerusalem to send him some noble families from the capital of Judea, and Titus complied with the request. So we see the footsteps of the sons of King David made its way to Spain and Portugal.
Pause. So what our brother is doing right now, families, is walking us down memory lane of history, families, that was kept hidden from the heathens. You know, they was kept hidden from the heathens, families. But now some of the stuff, because those that kept it hidden, families, has died off. Their children got hold of these documents now. Some of them families saw what their ancestors did, families, and families, they cannot keep that part of their generation, families. So they are revealing these information, families, that you can go get it now. It ain't kept secret now. You can go get this now, families. So that's what Benny Yah Israel is doing. He is treating this like if we was in a courtroom and we're gonna let the Most High Yah be the judge. And these are those that was victims and that defended. Let's go.
He lived for over 1,000 years. Ironically, it's here in Spain and Portugal where we witness an amazing transformation of the sons of King David. It's here that the sons of King David transformed themselves into a people called Negroes. It began when a Brew and his family and their descendants began calling themselves Negroes in the 11th and 12th centuries. And yes, these are the Negroes, as prophecy states, who are scattered to the four corners of the world. About those Negroes, we previously pointed out that according to the Webster Dictionary, the word Negro did not refer to a person of African descent until after the year 1555, which means that slaves called Negroes before the year 1555 were not African. This was confirmed by Spanish law, which required Negro slaves shipped to the New World. They had to have been born in Spain. And remember, these Negroes who were born in Spain were under the curses of Deuteronomy 28 because they chose to follow the oral laws of the Talmud instead of the written laws of the Most High Yah. If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yah thy Elohim, to observe to do all his commandments and statutes which I command thee this day, then you will be cursed.
Y'all promise your sons don't see you. Your hard-headed stiff kings and priests. When he grabbed at him, you know that he be bringing galaxies. Him disturb dark region seas. Earthquakes straight breaking trees. Skin melt, heart melt when they go start 7-7 plagues getting bubble disease.
You better think good. You better go get your head right. You better think hard, for the Most High make your heads fly.
Hard-headed priests, kings, and queens. Living up your worldly things. Choose a devil not like call on a big and on a freak, even satanic thing.
And Yah shall bring thee unto Egypt again, ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall redeem you.
Pause. Now you see how the Most High Yah is revealing things that that man are now calling lies. You know what I'm saying? But he's been trying to tell you the truth. There are those that be up there that you know that's amongst you families that don't even believe in the slave trade. They don't even believe in the slave trade, families. Families, man, there be certain documents, man, that the elders be showing families. It's not stuff that we came up with. It's them telling on themselves, families. They can't hold it in now. The people that was holding that stuff in for all them years, families, they dead and gone. Their kids are now seeing the generation. They find out, families, they part of that bloodline, families that done this type of stuff, man. They saying that, man, no, whoa. I didn't know my great-great-grandfather done that. You know, well, I'm not that type of person. But they see the documents that they have that's part of their legacy, families, that's been part of their family history, families. And they've been keeping these and containing these documents, families. So the children of these days are like, whoa, hold one minute now. This stuff is coming out, man. This stuff is coming out. Most people don't see it, man, because they thinking like, oh, well, why you want to believe that and why you want to believe this? And families, then what do you believe, man? What do you believe? People don't. There's people that's part of their forefathers and their foremothers' families. They don't even believe that they was in slavery, man. They don't even believe that they came on boats, man. But these people that are telling you this stuff, they the coolest person on the planet. They real. But they don't believe that. Crazy. You cannot make this stuff up. It's coming out of their mouth. You're not putting these words in their mouth. They telling you that stuff and you still rock with them. That's crazy.
As the curses overtook the sons of King David in Spain and Portugal, the persecutions broke out against the Brews. The first persecutions broke out against the Brews by their Muslim neighbors, followed by persecutions by Christian conquerors of Spain and Portugal. In fact, when the Christian Catholics took over Spain, they gave the Brews an ultimatum: convert to Christianity or die. Revelations 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yah, and have the testimony of Yahushua HaMashiach.
flesh, with fear and trembling, singleness of your heart, as unto Christ.
The Gentile church used their version of the Bible and the sword to conquer the house of Judah. Then after conquering Judah, they set fire to the world.
Go, leave no stone unturned. Let me see, the Pope has given this land unto you.
Pause. Now, families, you see how he brought out Ephesians 6 and he was showing y'all, families, going back to Jeremiah, not only chapter 8, but as well Jeremiah chapter 9, families. That lion pen of the scribes, families. This is going to take you back to either Revelation chapter 14, if I'm not mistaken, when the Most High Yah, if it's not 14, it's 13, but I think it's 14, where Yah said that says that you're going to rest from your work, your labors. A labor means that you had to do something. It applies action. It applies action to do whatever type of labor that was commanded or ordered for a certain individual to do. But then the Most High Yah says you shall rest from your works. You're going to rest from that, man. So why is our brother on a video that he did almost a month ago, maybe 2, is bringing this out? That way that the rest of the world, man, can take heed of what Yah is saying, family. This doesn't matter what nationality you is, or ethnicity, or tribal group you call yourself from. Are you going to obey orders? This is a government structure, man. It's a government. These people are going to follow and be in full function of this government structure, a government system. And this system is coming from the heavenlies, man. It's coming from the Shamayims, my brothers and sisters. Daughters of Sarah. The daughters of Sarah. It's coming from the Shamayims. Let's go.
Only take it and enslave and destroy any who oppose you.
Cursed be Canaan, a servant of servants shall he be unto his brother. And he said, Blessed be the Lord God of Shem, and Canaan shall be his servant.
In this sign you shall conquer.
And so the seed of the serpent, after taking control of the church, declared all-out war against the sons of Judah, oppressing and persecuting the children of Israel wherever they found them, hunting them down as they fled from Spain and Portugal into Africa and beyond. Judah, now securely under the curse, was hunted down, killed, or enslaved by the Gentiles, for the time of the Gentiles was at hand. Persecution of the house of Judah often involved breaking up families, ripping children away from the arms of their mothers and fathers, and giving them to Christians to raise in the doctrine of the Roman Christian Gentile Church. This was often a bloody, violent separation of families, which occurred many times in Spain and Portugal and around the world. As the following reference reads, and it reads, the Jewish children below 14 years of age were torn from their parents' arms, dragged into the church, baptized. Those under 3 years of age were given to Christians to receive a Christian education, or in other words, to be raised.
So they was given to the new age Christians at that point in time, families, that lying pen of the scribes. And these scribes is going to train up the new next generation, families. And they're going to teach them and train them, families, of how they supposed to see them. And then the rest of the world, if they have any type of special talent, a God-given gift or whatever, they're going to be up under this type of ordership. Get what I'm saying? Because we was the ones that trained these type of people at this point in time. We trained their children. And we trained a child in the way that it should go. That's what this lying pen of the scribes did, families, in Jeremiah chapter 8. And people just thought that just because Jeremiah said it 1,000, 2,000 years ago that it stopped. No, it did not. And Yah is telling us this. But you got most people think, oh, this boring information. No, families, this is stuff that was hidden for generations. It's just now getting out. You telling me that in 2021, it's just now getting out? And it's boring? Man, get out of here.
As slaves. The house of Judah attempted to flee this violent, habitual persecution in multiple ways. Oftentimes they fled into Africa. This is what we refer to as the path of the Negro. For example, when Brews were expelled from Spain and Portugal, we see the definition of the word Negro transition from referring to someone born in Spain and Portugal to referring to someone born in Africa. Now, while the Brews were in Africa, the Gentiles encouraged certain African rulers to attack and enslave the Brews. This was established by law. By the law of King Manuel, who solicited the help of local African rulers to persecute Judah in Africa. As the following reference reads, and it reads, the permit authorized Captain Bernard M. Gomez to offer to the indigenous chiefs all the gifts that were necessary to achieve the delivery or the murder of those Lancados. It seems that these violent measures by Monarch Fronturso were intended to reach Jews and foreign adventurers who spread freely along the African coast. This group of Negro Brews were persecuted, the deeper they retreated into Africa. And like a pack of hungry wolves, the Gentiles followed these Negro Brews and waited for just the right time to strike. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45 reads, moreover, all these curses shall come upon you, shall pursue you and overtake you, till you be destroyed, because you hearkenest not unto the voice of Yah, your Elohim, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded you.
Love it, families. We're gonna play 2 joints, families, and then we're gonna go to the next sequel of this video, families. They just dropped off a movie, families, man, that is about a good 6 to 7 hours long. You can find it on Venmo, and it's powerful, families. I think it's gonna cost maybe like $12 or something like that. So of course, man, I ordered it, families. I rented it, and I'm thinking about buying it, families. That way I can have it part of my collection. It brings out some powerful information, families, that you can get a hold of now. It is families, and there's more to come. There's a lot of people that's doing this, and I like, and it's the elders, man. It's our elders, man. So they trying to lead something. Now might call it might want to call it a little selfish in a way, because they leaving it for their kids, their children. It's for us too, if you have an ear to hear and eyes to see. But they really leaving it for their children, their legacy, their generation. I likes that, man. Leave something behind for your children, man. Most people think it's something that's supposed to be of value that you could put somebody on, like a house or something, a car, or maybe money or something like that. But what Yah has been showing me is that this right here is fully valuable, man, but it's something that's priceless. It's knowledge, man. It's wisdom. So that's one thing that I like. We're gonna play 2 music joints, families, and then we're finna go to the sequel of this. And then, families, until the Most High Yah say, let us meet again. I see you when I see you. But until then, let's go.
And praise, I could have never complain. My life so great, life so great. I could have never complain. Watch out now, I take a look at life and I appreciate it. Yeah, even when things don't seem to be going my way, many days I give thanks for the little that the Most High bless me with. Cause many have wealth but them don't happy, living their life in pure misery. But my life so great, life so great. I could have never complain. Give thanks and praise. Life so great, I could have never complain. My life so great, life so great. I could have never complain. Give thanks and praise. Life so great, I could have never complain. No. Enough get caught in the matrix, reality I check, but them never take notice. Now their life is so hopeless, system shut down, leave the whole world in a chaos. I give thanks for simplicity, now live above my ability. With health, good food and raiment, I give the Most High praises. Cause my life so great, life so great. I could have never complain, give thanks and praise. Life so great, I could have never complain. My life so great, life so great. I could have never complain, give thanks and praise. Life so great, I could have never complain. No, the greatest thing in life is to have good health and strength. And everything that you need will always fall in place. Cause once you have life, then you have hope. Don't forget to be thankful. Oh, Most High, I'm so grateful. Grateful. You make my life so great, life so great. I could have never complain. Give thanks and praise. Life so great, I could have never complain. My life so great, life so great. I could have never complain. Give thanks and praise. Life so great, I could have never complain. No. You see right now, I not trying to complain, gang, you know. I give thanks for life and I give thanks for the little bit where the Most High bless me, you know. As the Bible said that the little bit that the poor man have is better than the riches of the wicked, you know. So I give thanks, you hear that? Most High, I thank you. Yeah, my life so great, life so great. I could have never complain. Thanks and praise. Life so great. Yeah. Life so great, my life so great. I could have never complain. Give thanks and praise. Life so great, I could have never complain. No, great, life so great. I could have never complain. Give thanks and praise. Life so great, I could have never complain. No.
Hey, I want to say that I love you, sons and daughters of Zion. Just for all those, man, that stay vibing with me, man. Man, Tawada. I want to say that I love y'all. Thank you. Thank you for that. So, families, man, I am going to play one more joint before we go to our next joint. And which one I want to let y'all hear, just so y'all can vibe, man. I want y'all to vibe. Let's go.
No longer will I be a slave to sin. You loved me when I was really weak. I was feeding my flesh. You hated when I was doing my thing. You winked at my ignorance. You pulled me away from captivity. No longer will I be a slave to sin. You fed me, you kept me, you led me, you read me in you. I'm in love with these scriptures. No one can take your place, 'cause I give my heart to you, Lord. The scriptures tell me you're mine. Thought I would never make it. You said you won't forsake me. All praises to the Most High. Yeah. I know that I love you. I'll show that I love you. First John 5 and 3 tells me how to love you. I know that I love you. I'll show that I love you. First John 5 and 3 tells me how to love you. You showed me who I was. You made me new. You told me I could do all things in you. As long as I obey, stay faithful and true. Proverbs 31 type. Your commandments teach me how I can love you. I do. No one can take your place, 'cause I give my heart to you, Lord. The scriptures tell me you're mine. Thought I would never make it. You said you won't forsake me. All praises to the Most High. Yeah. Correct me when I'm wrong. You're guiding me along. Hebrews 12, verse 6. The kind of love so strong. Correct me when I'm wrong. You're guiding me along. Hebrews 12, verse 6. The kind of love so strong. Israel, I give my heart to Israel. His love, I feel so strong. You said you won't hold on, 'cause he's guiding us home.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about, families. I truly hope that was soothing. All right, families, I am going to take y'all to Keith Wilkins, families. Moray Keith Wilkins, families. I want to show y'all before we go back to Benny Yah, Yisrael, and show you the sequel to that last video that we just watched, families. Powerful. I told you it was going to be powerful, families. I told you it was going to be powerful. And we finna go ahead and get into some more history. I just want to see if y'all know anything about the Devil's Bowl that we have in Mississippi. Now, families, I never heard of that at a day of my life, families, until Moray Keith Wilkins brought it out. He has been traveling over the United States right now, just bringing out history of where the slaves might have been dispersed to, families, once they got over here. We can't talk about certain places, families, like over there in Africa and Spain and Portugal and places like that, unless we have brothers from them certain areas bring that stuff out. That's why when you go to TCA, Thoughts Camera Action, we got our brother from the UK is doing his part on his end, and he's showing us where when they got put over there, when they got dispersed over there, what was going on with our people when they touched down over there. So we got to do our part on our end on this side. Let's go. All right, if you want to check out more Ray Keith Wilkins, it's called Chasing Our History. This is where I get my history class. Let's go.
Shalom, family, shalom. Pastor Wilkins of Chasing Our History, the visionary of the Sons of Yah. We are back down in Natchez, Mississippi. We're standing at the second concentration camp, the Devil's Punch Bowl, Part 2. This ravine, this camp, is worse than the first one. The drop here, I'm standing less than a foot off the drop to bring you these pictures. It is a bowl. There's the river. The Mississippi River's right there. That river flood. These bodies in here wash ashore. Hear that? When this river flood, right here, there's the river. You see how the river floods into that one area over there, which is a part of the bowl. All that water comes in and it comes all the way over into here, into the punch bowl. This one is much steeper than the other one. If I had a way to show it going all the way around, you would see a circle. This is a huge circle that goes all the way around this bowl. Hear me. This is a huge circle that goes all the way around this bowl. This is that other concentration camp that we've been looking for in the Devil's Punch Bowl. You're looking at the infamous Devil's Punch Bowl. This is that second camp where they held our people, and it is steep down here. Straight drop off. I'm talking deep drop off down here. Hear what I'm telling you? This is a straight drop off. This one's got me a little more nervous than the other one. It's a straight drop off. All the way down to the bottom. The Devil's Punch Bowl. Ezekiel said to Yah, let me say it better. Yah said to Ezekiel, can those dry bones live? This is a valley down here. And there's dry bones in this valley. Hear that. This is a valley, and there's dry bones in this valley. No doubt, 90,000 people could not fit right here, but if you extend all the way over, if you look over, you see a circle shape where that dark water's at, where that contaminated water's at. That's flooding that comes into the bowl. That is the flooding that comes into the bowl. Now, if you see two bodies of water, you see a brownish color water and you see that grayish color water from a farther distance. That's the Mississippi River, that grayish color water. The brown water is from the bottom of the bowl.
Pause. Now, what more Ray Keith Wilkins is trying to bring our families is that if this is what we can find just over here where we at, just imagine our other brothers and sisters in the areas that they at, in them third world country families over there on the east side of the planet. What are they coming up with, families, in the valley of dry bones? Families, man, Earth is considered the valley, families. That's where inhabitants dwell in, families. So when you go to Psalms 23, the valley of the shadow of death, what is it talking about, man? It's talking about Earth and the inhabitants and the those that inhabited inside of it. I love what the elders are bringing out, man. It's simple stuff, families. You can't go flocking around to all teachers, families. You got many teachers in this hour, families, and these certain teachers or certain individuals will fit Jeremiah chapter 23. I am not going to be one of them. No, I am not. I'm going to show you proof of things that you can find within your scriptures. Show you certain misconceptions that these lying scribes took out of your scriptures and where they placed it somewhere else. Who's training me like this in this hour? My elders. I'm not sitting there saying the Holy Spirit is coming to me and stuff. No, the Spirit is leading me to all truth. That's what the Spirit is doing for me right now. I can't speak for all individuals. I'm just saying for me. And that's why I have to display certain things that I'm displaying, man. I'm not out here coming up with certain scriptures and I'm going to name the topic for this live today, such and such and such and such. And I'm not going to show you no history behind it or nothing. We just going to read the scriptures and I'm going to interpret it the way that I best know how. Man, Hasatan is a lie. When I know there's an elder or somebody else, families, that the Most High done and appointed to bring out certain things at an appointed time to give you a better and full understanding. I'm not finna fit Jeremiah 23, not me. I can't speak about everybody else, but I know I'm not. Man, Hasatan is a lie. So that's why I be patient, families, when I come on. I have things to show y'all for real. I be for real about the information I be bringing out. There's stuff that I know for a fact you can go find. So are we debunking those that don't believe in the slave trade? Yeah. Because the reason why is that if you don't believe in it, what are you saying about your ancestors? Your forefathers and foremothers that fought hard for you to be in existence to this day. What you going to say about that? I'm staying far away from that type of spirit. That's what and that doctrine. That's what I'm finna do. I'm staying far away from it. I can't speak about everybody else. I know I'm finna stay far away from it. That sounds like witchcraft to me in some type of way, form, or fashion. I know I just don't want to be part of it or entertained by it. Let's go. I got something to show y'all before we go back to Benny Yah Israel. I know who I'm finna show y'all. This is my brother Yaki. And he has been taking a beating lately based upon certain information that he done brought out. And all he's trying to tell people to do is live. He's trying to teach you about certain things, families, that Dr. Sebi and some more people that's part of our culture, families, is trying to tell you, families, that we must stay away from the flesh. The flesh is what's killing us, families. We talking about animals, families. We talking about animals. Animals have to die so we can be able to feed our bellies. When the Most High made all living things, He is called the everlasting living God. Why do something have to die so we can eat and for our sins and stuff? When they brought this information out, it made perfect sense. Now I see why the Most High sat there and told us in Bereshit, which means Genesis in Hebrew, Bereshit. Now I see why he sat there and says that the fruits that yield from the ground will be meat for us. Now I see why he says that. Check this out.
Peace. Y'all climb on in. Peace, love, light, and healing. Peace to the gods. Peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in. Y'all been seeing a lot of negative comments about the picture I posted of the turtle and of the elephant, and and I want to tell y'all, everybody on my post talking about, you get your fuel from protein. So I want to set the record straight because you don't. So y'all climb on in and we're gonna talk about it. Y'all climb on in. Peace, love, light, healing, family. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth. How y'all doing?
All right, now the reason why Yaki was saying that, family, is because when you go to his community session, He is showing you what be going inside our bodies when we be putting this flesh, this other meat inside of our system that was not supposed to be there from the beginning, families. Because Adam was not eating that at first, families. When we supposed to go back to our first love, back to the first estate of how we was created, families. You cannot make this stuff up. The animals didn't do nothing to y'all, families. They ain't out here committing sin. They ain't doing nothing to y'all, families. It's us. It's us. Look at that meal, families, that he gave to one of his clients. Check out some more pictures. This is when you start using the herbs that comes from the ground, because you made from the dust of the ground, and you start putting this stuff back inside your system. You will start getting all this stuff that's been just living in your intestines, families, for years, families, and it starts slowly coming out of you, families. Look at that stuff that be inside of us because we eat flesh. There go other brothers, man, with trying to tell you about herbs that you need to be putting back in your body from the place that you come from. This is the stuff that be coming out of cows and stuff like that, families. The stuff that be coming out of lamb and stuff like that, families. But once they clean it up and all this and that, you're not knowing that this stuff, when it comes from a factory, it had this stuff inside of it, families. But we still put it in our system, families. I'm not done. Let's go. I be having stuff to show y'all, families. I don't be playing with this. I be having stuff to show y'all.
Family, peace to the gods, peace to the earth. Y'all climb on in the building.
Hallelujah.
Y'all already see who's sitting at the right of me. My brother, my big brother, Malachi Maccabee. Peace to the God. How you feeling today, brother?
Man, feeling good. You know, man, good to be in the land of the living. As long as we above ground, we winning.
All praises, all praises. Y'all climb on in, y'all climb on in. We wait till y'all climb on in. We're going to get everything started. Y'all see what we got on the board today. We talking about conflict and contradictions within the Bible / Torah / Pentateuch, Tanakh, whatever everybody want to, call it. Let's talk about it. We're finna bring some things out today. Again, this is not to, get anybody out of the faith. This is not to, make fun of the Bible or nothing like that. We are here for knowledge and for spiritual growth. You know what I'm saying? And we really doing this and coming forth with all this information to show that we have been serving two gods. We have been mingling two gods. We've been mingling the God of death with the God of life. And according to the pure Torah of Moses, we can't do that. According to the pure Torah of Moses, you can't serve two masters. So that's the reason why we bringing these things out. You got anything to say, Malachi Maccabee?
Yeah, no doubt. And all this is leading up to like the origin of your sacrifices. There's a lot of mealy mouth Negroes is mad right now, and they're holding on to a dead Levitical priesthood. You know what I mean? And they're mad because of what we brought out last Thursday and how it's obvious conflict between the prophets, right, and what we call the priests. You got prophets saying the Most High never spoke to our fathers, nor commanded them in the day when we left Egypt concerning burnt offerings and sacrifice. But we got a law of sacrifice and burnt offerings, right? Then if you're in that day, well, okay, when we left Egypt, that was a major sacrifice according to what we read in Exodus. So what we point out is conflict, and the whole reason we point that out is because if you're not killing the flesh, you know what I mean, then you're definitely not eating the flesh.
Facts.
That's the whole point, you know what I mean? I know a lot of people think that, we saying put the Bible down and all that. No, we saying if you want to really deal with the true teachings of Moses or the true Torah that the Messiah came to restore to the people, then you must teach life out of the scriptures. You know what I mean? Not death. Look, even Moses said it though.
Yeah,
Did he say, I lay before you two paths, life and death.
Facts.
Choose life that you may live, right? Now, a lot of our people don't understand this, that in that life and in that death, there's also a life diet and a death diet.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And it's wild though, you know, over the last week, you know, a few Negroes lined up, you know what I mean, called themselves firing at us, but to none avail.
Yeah.
All y'all missed, you know what I mean? And the whole point was this, like, you know what I mean, we wasn't done. We not done bringing out everything. At least wait till we done, you know what I mean? Because this research we doing, we're going in. Like, you know what I mean? What we talking about is what they talking about at Yale, Cambridge, Oxford. We gonna show y'all some of it today. And even after today, we still ain't done. You know what I mean? So the whole thing is to show the conflict. Why show the conflict? Because it's like this. If you're not sacrificing the flesh, then guess what you're not doing? You're not eating the flesh. The dietary law is Genesis 1:29. The fats and the grains of the earth. Not just for man, but even for the animals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the dietary law. That's what the Most High ordained. What you got in Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14, you know what I mean, it's not a law. Because if it was, trip off this, I know some of y'all spilled your coffee, but if it was a law, then it would be a sin not to eat flesh.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You don't have to eat flesh, and that's the whole point. And especially in these last days, right?
Yeah.
We got in the prophecy where it say in the last days, knowledge going to increase.
Facts.
Right? Today, you can look down into the cell of any organism. You can study the blood and what's the pH levels and all that?
Yeah, the pH level of the blood is 7.45.
You can go, you actually do that today because knowledge has increased. You understand? So even if you see things happening back in the day among certain forefathers, even the Messiah told the disciples this, you know, many prophets and wise men have desired to see the things that you see, but have not seen them.
Yeah.
How much more in this day when knowledge has increased? You know what I mean? So the whole thing, we've been telling people to live life and live abundantly and stop putting the things down your throat that destroy you. And you'd have thought we was telling people to go become homosexuals or something.
Yeah, we straight telling y'all to live. And you know, when you deal with the fact of the matter, you know, the meat is the flesh is killing us at alarming rates. It's killing us very, very fast. And you know, we've been dealing with two Torahs here. We've been dealing with two laws here. We've been dealing with the law of life and the law of death. And you know, once we came into the knowledge of this, we would be fools and we would be sinning if we didn't bring this forth. We just want our people to live. That's it. So we ain't gonna pay attention to the comment board today until we done. So you know, if anybody got the axe in here and y'all see anybody stirring up any issues, just go on and block them because the message gotta go forth. So we finna bring everything forth. And at the end of the presentation, then we will open up the phone line. So let's just get straight to it. If y'all can see the screen and if y'all can hear us good, type in some nines real quick. Let's do that first. If y'all can see the screen real good, y'all can see us. And if y'all can hear us good, type in some nines and we'll get everything started.
Absolutely. And look, this right here is from an academic standpoint. You know what I mean? Again, professors and all them at Yale, you know what I mean, Oxford, Cambridge. So this is from an academic standpoint. Then you got scripture standpoint where you can respond and do all that as well. You know what I mean? But this is academic. Y'all do know there are people who whole careers are based on studying your records, going into history, exegesis and all that, biblical texts, criticisms and all that. You know what I mean? So we gonna bring it out to show that because we teach, you know what I mean, keep that flesh out your mouth, that lick out your mouth and that smoke out your lungs so you can live. So this whole vessel will be totally dedicated to the Almighty. You know what I mean? That's what we teach and we gonna keep teaching it. Regardless of whoever get mad, that's just what it is. We love you enough to see you alive.
Facts.
And breathing. You know what I mean?
There it is.
All right, so what we got going on first?
All right, so we're going to start this. I want to start this off showing the lion pen of the scribes. I want to read this first, and then we're going to get into some other versions and everything of it, because, you know, people be like, they use the breakdown that we used to use and that we used to that we didn't taught for real. They use that breakdown and saying, well, the people were sinning, so it was like the prophets were scribing in vain because the words that they wrote didn't amount to nothing because Israel was sinning. And it's like, no, when you read this for what it is and you read it inside of its context, he was saying that the pen of the scribes, they dealt with it falsely and they wrote lies and they twisted lies and they wrote lies into the Torah. That's what it says. So we're going to read this first and then we're going to look at some other versions and see what it says as well.
Hey, and just to say this real quick, that make all the sense in the world because one of the Messiah's chief enemies were the scribes.
Facts.
Not just the Pharisees and Sadducees, but they're scribes.
Facts.
And scribes are in charge of writing down the precepts of what we call the laws of Moses and all that, and the interpretation.
Yes, and the interpretation thereof.
That's right. Jeremiah 8:8. How do ye say we are wise, and the law of the Most High is with us? Lo, certainly in vain made he it.
Ooh-wee.
The pen of the scribes is in
vain.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do is, cause y'all done heard us break this down millions of times, right, in the past. So we just gonna let the other Bibles and everything, it's called comparing text. So we're gonna let the comparing text speak for itself. So we're gonna click on here real quick and let's compare the text. Let's just compare it real quick. So let's go to Bibles. Now let's read. We're gonna read every different version and let's see what every different version say.
This right here, okay, we just did the KJV, right? This right here is the NKJV. How can you say we are wise and the law of the Most High is with us? Look, the false pen of the scribe certainly works falsehood.
So this shows you what it's saying. The false pen. If your pen that you're writing with is false, that means your pen that you're writing with is a lie. And it says certainly work falsehood. So the pen is a false pen, and that false pen is working falsehood. Well, what did the scribes create? What did the scribe was writing? They was getting words, and then they wrote it down and interpreted what the prophet said to them, what priest said to them, and then they scribed it into what today you would call your Torah or what you would call your law. So what was they dealing with? The laws. What was they dealing with? The prophecies being written, interpreting them inside of the law. And it says it was a false pen that they was using, and they worked it in falsehood. But look, if y'all saying that that's not saying that, let's read another version.
The New and Living Translation. How can you say we are wise because we have the word of the Most High when your teachers have twisted it by writing lies?
Let's read that one more time, Ellie.
How can you say we are wise because we have the word of the Heavenly Father when your teachers, your teachers have twisted it by writing lies?
That is clear as day. When your teachers have twisted it by writing lies. And if y'all really get into Jeremiah, he was one of the Nabis, the Nabiums, or one of the prophets that was going hard when it went going against sacrifices and going against eating flesh, because the Most High was dealing with him personally, and a lot of other prophets too, was going against the grain. You got a few prophets here and there where you see they got sacrifice in there, but when you read like Ezekiel, for example, he have sacrifices inside of his writings, inside of his sayings, but within the same chapter it contradicts itself because he go right back to a plant-based diet. You know what I'm saying? And look, we have answers for all of that if y'all just be patient with us and go through this whole presentation with y'all. I'm pretty sure that this gonna blow y'all mind because it blew ours. So we see that that Jeremiah is stating that the false pens of the scribes was twisting teachings and writing lies in our Torah.
Yeah, and then the crazy part is this has to come into play sometime in history.
Yeah.
Jeremiah is a prophet. He prophesies. So this would have to come into play. He was a prophet that prophesied right before Jerusalem fell to Babylon.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Ooh. So, when we fell to Babylon, y'all do know that what we call the Torah that Moses wrote, that was burnt.
It was burnt.
It was burnt. According to 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter and 21st verse, thy law is burnt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Alright, so what you have now is a refining of a Torah or written work coming out of ancient Babylon.
Facts.
You know what I mean? What you got attributed to Moses, what Moses wrote down initially was burnt.
Yeah.
According to 2nd Ezra 14 and 21, the law was burnt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then Ezra gets the Holy Spirit and he starts writing again, right? But down in 2nd Ezra 14:44, he wrote 204 books.
That's right.
What that mean? There's only 5 books of your Torah. Well, you'll say, well, no, that means, it's 204 chapters in the Torah. No, it ain't. It's 187.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's 204 verses. No, it ain't. It's well over 1,000. You know what I mean? Then he told him to hide 70. So you take 204 minus 70 and you get 134 books.
Boy.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It ain't even, look, if you got the KJV with the Apocrypha, that's only 80 books.
Yeah. So something ain't adding up
that's
here.
Right.
Everything we finna show and present today is proving that. Now look, let's just read the rest of these and then we're gonna get straight to the presentation.
Okay, how can you say we are wise, NIV? How can you say we are wise for we have the law of the Most High when actually the...
So that's why I took y'all to Benny Israel, families, and he's giving you a trip down memory lane, families, and trying to show you the history. That's why I took you to Ray Keith Wilkins, families, so you can know the history, families, of what you read of the day, so you can line it up to this dispensation, families. And guess what, families? We got the exact same lying scribes amongst us till this day. Those that don't put in no work, families, but they be so quick to teach you of their understanding. where you getting your information from. And we supposed to believe them because they say the faith and the Holy Spirit. By faith and the Holy Spirit, you better try that spirit by the Spirit, families. You have to try that spirit by the Spirit, man. You're not wrestling against flesh and blood, families. You wrestling against that lying spirit that is within some individuals, families. That's what's going on. And they just want you to just trust whatever they bring out at that point in time, other than doing deep research. Why you think Yah tells us to study to show thyself approved?
Lion pen of the scribes has handled it falsely. They've handled the law of the Most High falsely.
So we see, look, every version we go to say the same exact thing, that the lion pens of the scribe dealt with the word falsely, dealt with the law falsely, and wrote lies into it. They tampered with it. You know what I'm saying? We not saying that. This is what Jeremiah saying, and with all the evidence that we're bringing forth today and everything that we brought forth last time, said the same exact thing. All the evidence conclude that our scriptures have been in fact tampered with. I know y'all don't like that word, but look, that is what's been happening. So let's just keep reading. Let's read these last two.
ESV, how can you say we are wise and the law of the Most High is with us? Hatawara.
Yeah, Hatawara is what they say.
Speaking that pig Latin out here, man. And the law of the Most High is with us. But behold, the lion pen of the scribes has made it into a lie.
Ooh, there you go again. Let's do one more.
CSB, how can you claim we are wise? The law of the Most High is with us. In fact, the lion pen of the scribes has produced falsehood.
So look, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 so far that, look, been concluded and is agreeing with everything that me and bruh been bringing out. And look, we didn't create this. We didn't make this up. This is in the very scriptures, and we finna show you, because you're gonna read, once we show you this this whole presentation, what y'all gonna realize is you're gonna see a whole bunch of contradictions, y'all. And it's like, okay, if we didn't put that in there, you know what I'm saying, and we just bringing it out, why everybody mad at us? Because we didn't write these contradictions in here. This stuff been written down for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. Right. So why y'all mad at Yahuah and Malachi Maccabee, boy? Right. So look, let's get straight to the presentation. And then at the end, like I said, at the end of the presentation, we open up the phone lines and we'll even answer some questions on the comment board. All we ask for y'all is y'all to be patient and y'all to bear with us while we get through there. We don't need none of y'all questions right now because we ain't answering them. So it ain't no part of y'all blowing up the whole comment board because we ain't gonna even answer them. So we letting y'all know that right now. Look, hear the whole matter and then we can talk when we done. All right, so let's share the screen one more time and let's get straight to it, because here it go. Here it go. All right, let's get straight to it. Alright. Blow this deal on up. Alright, so look, check it out. Here we go. So, conflict and contradictions of our biblical text. Now check this out, y'all. What we're gonna do is I want to start this off with the creation story. You know, because this blew my mind, and I'm pretty sure it'll blow a lot of y'all minds too. So what I got here is the creation story. Now, what you're going to look at and what you're seeing around here with my marker at, you're seeing Elohim and you're seeing Yahweh. Right. Because there's a difference in what they call God in each different individual source or chapter. We're not the only people saying this. We've been peeped it, but now we have scholars, theologians. We have a lot of different people, academics, that are talking about this thing. In fact, when you go to school for to be a theologian or to be a chaplain or to be anything that's dealing with the scripture, whether you're going to be teaching them from a pastor or a minister perspective, or whether you're going to be teaching it from a straight educational academic perspective, you have to learn these things at school. We just ain't been in school for it. So this is not just taught by Malachi Maccabee and Yahuah. This is actually taught in all of your major universities. This is taught on a worldwide level, y'all. It's just now finally bringing it down
down to us. It's something called textual criticisms, where you got professors that sit around with a magnifying glass and read through the Torah and find contradictions and find things that just don't add up.
Absolutely.
It's not just we didn't come up with this. This been sought out for over 800 years now.
Yes.
We got all the proof, all the facts, all the evidence. It's been people investigating the scriptures for 800 years.
Look, 4 or 5 different people who lived in different time periods that arrived at the same conclusion.
The same exact conclusion. So let's read this. Let's start off reading it. So look, first thing I want to show y'all is the creation story, and I want to break down how the text is different from going to chapter 1 from going to chapter 2. Now, this is how you know that there are conflicting chapters, because even I, at one point in my life, thought that it was 2 different creation stories. I even taught that before, and then I got corrected to think something that was still off. You see that? So when I first came into the truth, when I was in Kemet and all of that, and I came into the truth, look, I immediately started teaching that there were 2 different creation stories, because Genesis Bereshit chapter 1 and Genesis Bereshit chapter 2 reads totally different. So then I was later taught that no, these are just a summary and more details of the first chapter. But what we finna read and how we finna break this down, no, it's not. So let's go and read this real quick.
The creation story, the Elohim or the E document. All right, it says Genesis 1 and 26, and Elohim, God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Verse 27, so Elohim, God, created man in his own image. In the image of God, Elohim created he him, male and female created he them.
So what we see in Genesis chapter 1, you would never see the word Yahweh. You would never see the word Yod Hey Wav Hey. You would never see the word Lord in Genesis chapter 1. So you would have to ask yourself, if this is the same writer in Genesis chapter 1, then why is it calling Yahweh, or our creator, why is it calling him a different name when you go over to the next chapter? Even in the way that it explains who he is and how he creates. Notice when you look at this in Genesis chapter 1, speaking of God as in, somebody that's cosmic, that's up in the sky, that is not hands in with his creation. Notice it always said God said.
That's right.
God said. Yep. God said. God said. Like he's a high deity, and he don't want nothing to do with his creation when it comes to like being close and personal.
Hands on.
Hands on. But when you get to Genesis chapter 2, we're going to read, they calling the God, it's a totally different name, and then you're going to see God is starting to be more personal. You're going to see him shaping Adam from the dust of the ground. You're going to see him blowing into Adam's nostrils. You're going to see him picking Adam up and placing Adam in the garden. It's 2 totally different ways for you to see God, and they even calling God 2 totally different names. So we just read Genesis chapter 1, 26 and 27. Now let's go down to Genesis chapter 2 and read 21 and 22. And notice that the names are different. For those that don't speak Hebrew, which we do. For those that don't read Hebrew, which we do. For those who don't write or scribe Hebrew, which we do. If you read the word God, it simply says Elohim, and that means powers. We're not going to see the same thing in Genesis chapter 2. So let's read it.
Genesis 2 and 21, the Yahweh or the Yahweh document, right? And Yahweh Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Most High Yahweh had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man.
So now we see in Genesis chapter 2, and y'all can go challenge us. Go through. Matter of fact, we're going to read both chapters. We're going to just go through them. We ain't going to be too fast, but we're going to go through them just to show all the different perspectives, and we're going to show it's 2 total different writers, y'all. It's not the same. So the question you're going to have to ask yourself, well, in Judaism, the traditional teaching is that Moshe wrote the Torah. That's what the traditional saying and teaching is, but we finna prove without a shadow of a doubt that Moses didn't write this. He didn't write this. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't scribe a Torah for us, but I'm saying that the Torah and Tanakh that we got, Moses ain't scribed that, and we finna prove it. We are finna prove it. So what I got right here is, I said in Lord God, which is Yahweh Elohim, formed man out of the dust of the ground, and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. That's Genesis 2:7. So if you look at the notes I got, I said in the Edoc. Now, the only reason why we're calling this the Edoc is because this is where the writer, whoever the author or the scribe is, they only call God Elohim. They don't call him any other name. So in the Edoc, Yahweh is more cosmic. He's a cosmic God. He's not personal with his creation. So read chapter 1. So we finna go read that and we gonna show y'all that. Now, when you get down to the Yahwistic or the Yahweh or the Y document, I said in the Y document, Yahweh is more hands-on with his creation. Yahweh is described as being more human-like. He's blowing, he's shaping, and he's operating, right? And he's operating. Now check this out. Check this out real fast. Let's just go read chapter 1 and read. Let's just go read the chapters, and it will blow your mind. It will seriously blow your mind. Check this out. Check this out. Let me move this out the way real quick. Exit full screen. Bang. Now let's get it. Let's pull up this scripture. Where that scripture at? All right, what we're going to do, we're going to read chapter 1. Chapter 1, verse 1. Let's get it, my brother.
In the book of Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, Elohim, God, created the heaven and the earth.
So in the beginning, God, Elohim, created the heavens and the earth.
And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the spirit of Elohim moved upon the face of the water.
See that? Now we got the spirit of God moving upon the face of the water. So whenever we read through this, it's like God is untouchable in the sense. It's like God is just over the creation. He didn't really want hands on in the creation. Now we're going to see him directly talking to Adam after he created him, but that is really like as far as he go. He had never put his hands in the creation. He would never be doing any type of blowing into Adam. That is only mentioned when you get into inside of chapter 2, but in chapter 1 he's more cosmic. Come on.
Verse 3. And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. And Elohim saw the light that it was good, and Elohim divided the light from the darkness. And Elohim called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
Come on.
Verse 6. And Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters. Let it divide the waters from the waters.
You see that? So Elohim is just, he's a cosmic being, and he's speaking everything into existence. But when we get into Genesis chapter 2, look, the Most High straight hands-on with the whole creation. Now we got two different names. We haven't read the word Lord yet, have we?
Not yet,
so we see that this is even God, his name totally different, showing you that the penmanship of the scribe is different. This couldn't have been Moses, because when we start reading and start showing y'all this presentation, you're going to see a bunch of different handwriting signatures, the way that they perceive who God is, the way that they call different landmass. They even interpretate stories different, like they remembered them wrong, or when the stories was passed down to the scribes, they either heard the correct story and they ain't like how it sounded and they changed it. But what we gonna see, we're gonna see the scribes literally working falsehood. That's what we gonna see.
So the prophecy in Jeremiah 8 and 8 came to pass.
It came to pass. It very much did.
It came to pass.
All right, let's get it.
All right, verse 6. And Elohim said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And Elohim made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so.
So, dude, is he called, do we see Yahweh anywhere? We do not see Yahweh. Only thing we see is Elohim. Come on.
And Elohim called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
Come on.
And Elohim said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear.
See, notice that. Now, notice he's speaking all these things into existence. He's not doing nothing physically, but in chapter 2, we're going to see a lot of physical work going on. We're going to see a lot of hands-on work going on. So either we have to admit that these are two different creation stories, or we're going to have to humble ourselves down, take evil out of the play, and say these are two different authors. And if these are two different scribes, then that means the traditional philosophy that we've been taught, that Moshe wrote these things, is a pure lie. It's gonna have to be one or other. We can't straddle the fence though, y'all. And that's what we're trying to show y'all. And just because you choose up and you see and you choose to see truth doesn't mean that you put Yahweh down, and doesn't mean that you put Christ down.
That's right.
That doesn't mean that. That don't mean you turn your back on the word of God. Again, the word of God is the first begotten of the Father. It's the first begotten of Yahweh. So we have to get that out of our mindset that the word of Yahweh is a book. It's not. It is not. Because if it was, we wouldn't read all these contradictions and everything we finna read now.
That's right. That's right.
All right, let's get it.
Absolutely.
Hey, facts.
And Elohim said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together under one place, and let the dry land appear, and it was so. Verse 10, and Elohim called the dry land Eretz, earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And Elohim saw that it was good.
We still have not read Yahweh. So that's why this particular source is called the Elohist document, or the Elohist source, because the particular region where the people came out, or the scribes that came out who particularly wrote this, didn't call him Yahweh. They called him Elohim. They called him powers. And it makes sense why they called him powers, because when you study the antiquity around that time, they literally believed, and I believe in it as well, that it wasn't just one El. There was Yahweh, there was Barak Rael, which is the god of lightning. There was Remael, which is the god of rain. That's Uriel, which is the god of the planetarial systems. There was Raphael, the god of healing, and all these different gods were called Melakim, or angels, and they actually was under the Almighty Yahweh and under his first begotten, which is Yahushua the Messiah. So yes, many different powers. So they understood that. They understood that whole thing, and they particularly didn't believe in monotheism. But you see, when we get to chapter 2, it's going to be a monotheism type of aspect and perspective when it comes to Yahweh. They don't want to mention him being a part of no other powers or none of that. They saying he's the only power there is, period. And we gonna show and prove that, showing you that even back then there were different philosophies and different ideologies and different way to view the scrolls when it came to different sects of all the 12 tribes of Israel.
Absolutely.
So it's been
that's the truth. That's the truth, you know what I mean? Look, and if it wasn't the truth, it wouldn't have been all these different sects, you know what I mean? So you got the Father, and then you got all the powers that he created up under him that take heed to his command.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But make no mistakes, they are powers. They are gods.
Facts. They
you know
are.
What I mean? They're up under the Heavenly Father, and they take heed to his command. Mikael, Raphael, Uriel, Barak Riel, like
Barak
you were saying.
the one of light.
Now, some of y'all don't read the book of Enoch. That ain't our problem, but that's where you'll find the name, you know what I mean, of all these messengers, Melakim, or gods.
And in certain instances, you will see where they will pray for these certain gods. They will pray for these certain gods. And we can pull that up too, showing you that it was different parts of Israel that believed in polytheism, and it was different parts that believed in monotheism.
Absolutely.
And these are facts, and it's all throughout the Torah. If we just slow down and remove our egos and what we've been indoctrinated with, and just look at truth for what it is. That's it. We have to get out our own way, family. All right, let's keep reading.
Verse 11, and Elohim said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed. And the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so.
Come on now.
And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the third day.
Now look, we ain't got enough time to keep reading through all of this, so just look. God, you would never see Yahweh, or you would never see the English translation of Yahweh, which is Lord, showing you that whoever wrote this particular passage right here said he thought he was many powers. He was many powers. And then when we go over into chapter 2, notice it's going to read something totally different. So now we're going over to chapter 2. We're going over to chapter 2. Now check this out. Check this out. Let me blow it up. All right, let's read this, Maccabee.
Yeah, okay, Genesis 2 and 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made.
Now check this out. Now this is how you know that the scriptures or the scrolls was chopped up the wrong way and put into different books the wrong way. Because Genesis, Bereshit chapter 2 all the way to 3 belongs to the first document. It's still calling him God. It's still acting like that he wasn't hands-on with his creation. Now when we get to the next verse, which is verse 4, we're going to see his name completely change. So this is how you know that Genesis chapter 2, verse 1, 2 and 3 still belongs to the first document, y'all. And you can see that in a lot of different Bibles too, in different versions of the Bible, where you can go to Isaiah chapter 11 verse 12. I'm just using it as an example, so I'm not saying this is what it is. I'm using an example because this is in your Bible. You can go to Isaiah chapter 11 verse 15 and say that's the end of the verse. But then you can go into verse 16 and it will pick up like it never left off, and then all of a sudden the whole subject change in the middle of the next chapter, showing you that the scriptures and the scrolls was chopped and divided up wrong. We seeing that right here because now we finna see where a new scroll is presented once we enter into Genesis chapter 2 verse 4. So
come on, Haki. Now what brother Yaki and Malachi is bringing out, families, they is not the only ones, man, that done came out with this this information. You got a brother in the name of Michael Heiser. He's a theological doctor that came up with this exact same conclusion when he dealing with the divine council, when all the Malachines of the heavens families had to come upon the throne of the Lord of hosts families, and then the Most High Yah questioned them and asked them what they was doing and what they about to go ahead to do and stuff like that. Then you got another brother named Dr. Stephen Pigeons families that's been doing some wonderful work, families. Man, these people, man, they putting some work out here, man. They really, really are. And if we could just be patient and quit trying to rush the answer, families, the Most High Yah going to give you the answer in due time. He's got to walk you down that path, family, so you can really understand the revelation of that answer once it's been given to you. He got to walk you down. Other than if he could just give you the answer right now, you ain't going to have no remorse for it. You probably ain't going to be humble, show meekness towards it or nothing. You just wanted to know about it and just go on about your business. No, he's not going to display that towards a certain group of people. He wants to make sure that this certain group of people that hear this type of information, they're going to put their feet in them people's shoes, man. That's what I'm saying. If I'm wrong, correct me. But that's what I'm saying. That's why when you go to Isaiah chapter 28, the Most High Yah commanded us to do precept upon precept. Precept upon precept. Line upon line. Line upon line. Here a little and there a little. That's why he commanded us to do that. Because he knew. It ain't that he knew. He was trying to show us, families, that these lying scribes have been doing this from the beginning. Let's go.
Let's start from 1 again, just so they can see that this is still a part of the old creation.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the seventh day Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made.
We're still calling him Elohim, come on.
And Elohim blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work which Elohim created and made.
It's still calling him Elohim. Now all of a sudden, we finna get a whole different new subject, and we finna get a whole different new name when it comes to how we perceive Yahweh. Now check it out, Genesis chapter 2 verse 4.
These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahweh made the earth and the heavens.
See that? Now he becomes Yahweh Elohim, Yahweh Elohim, or Yahweh El. See that? Two totally different names. Now we're never going to see just God by itself again in this different particular writing. And this writer comes from a whole different perspective. Now Yahweh is going to be more hands-on. Yahweh is going to be breathing. Yahweh is going to be shaping. Yahweh is going to be walking. Then when you get to 3, he's walking in the midst of the garden. He's hands-on with creation, and he's very, very personal with his creation, which is a total different story and perspective when it comes to Genesis chapter 1. Alright, so Genesis chapter 2 verse 4 again.
Now, I like when brother brought that out, families, because they're also going to take you to that scripture where the Most High Yah said that says that he should never, that he should not strive or dwell with man again. He won't walk with man again, based upon our wickedness, you know. But at the first time, families, especially them breaking this down, it shows you how the Most High Yah truly was a caretaker towards us, families. He walked with us for real, for real, for real. Like for real, families. Let's go.
are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day that Yahweh Elohim made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For Yahweh El had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground.
So now what they call him? Yahweh El. Come on.
Verse 6. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. That's hard. That's hard. Verse 7. And Yahweh El formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
So did Elohim do this exact same thing? No, he didn't. Elohim spoke everything into existence in Genesis chapter 1. Elohim said, let us make man in our image after our likeness. Elohim spirit moved upon the face of the water. Elohim said 10 times in Genesis chapter 1. Now we got a God, whether we're going to say it's the same or not. In order for us to present this academia wise, we're going to have to say act like they different. Now we got Yahweh El. He's forming man out of the dust of the ground, and he's breathing into the nostrils of Adam the breath of life, and then man become a living soul. Come on.
Verse 8. And Yahweh El planted a garden eastward in Eden.
So now Yahweh El is even a farmer. He's planting gardens. Come on.
And there he put the man whom he had formed.
Come on out.
And out of the ground made Yahweh El to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Come on.
Verse 10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. The name of the first is Pison, that is it which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold.
We got to talk on that too when we bring out that flood and that gold, because this goes back to the Anunnaki, boy. We got to talk about that. Come on.
And the gold of that land is good. There is bdellium and the onyx stone.
And the who?
And the onyx stone.
So they was with even onyx.
Now check this out, families. Now everything that he's showing us, families, is things that you can find from the dust of the ground, families, from the valley, families, that the inhabitants that dwelt on this earth, families, sits on, families. That's like us wearing shoes, families. We really supposed to be barefooted, families, honestly, families. That way that we can your feet, the soles of your feet, families, can get the nutrients from the ground, families. But most people sit there and say, I don't know why y'all that nasty dirt. What you mean that? You calling your own self nasty? Ain't you made from the dust of the ground? That's why people sitting over telling you, families, that you always want to eat healthy and eat the nutrients, families, that comes from this earth, other than killing a bird, pig, animal, lamb, sheep, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You're not eating flesh, but you eating what he made. And you see how he done named all these things that come from the dust of the ground. These living waters, what flows through these valleys, man. You can't, it's in our scriptures, man. You can't make this stuff up. I be seeing this stuff, y'all. I be seeing it, man.
And stones and gemstones and crystals was precious back then, Maccabee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that's wicked though, huh?
And look, and even the scribes knew about that, huh?
Yeah, come on.
And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same is it that compasseth the whole land of Cush, Ethiopia. And the name of the river is Hiddekel. That is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is Euphrates.
Come on, brother.
Verse 15. And Yahweh El took the man.
So hold on. Now we got Yahweh El taking the man. Do we got Elohim taking the man or Yahweh El?
Yahweh El taking the man.
Two total different names and perspectives when it comes to Yahweh. See that now we got Yahweh El, not Elohim, but Yahweh El taking the man. He already planted a garden, formed the garden. He already made Adam out of the dust of the ground. He already breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So it makes Yahweh El looks more like he's in human form. Which is more personal, which is totally different from Genesis chapter 1. And in Genesis chapter 2, note that this person actually have maps. He's naming locations, specifics. It wasn't specific in Genesis chapter 1. It just said that he separated waters from waters. He said he brought the dry land out of the waters. You see that? Now we get in Genesis chapter 2 with Yahweh El, eastward and Eden. It's like exact. It's like he's looking at a map while he's scribing, showing you that it is two different writers, it is two different scribes, it is two different authors, and it couldn't have been Moshe. We got to talk about it. Come on.
And Yahweh El took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it.
So he took man and he put him in the garden to dress it and to keep it. Now, we even got two different actions he gave man. Because in the first one, he just told the man to have dominion over the fish and the fowls and dominions over the animals, right? Go forth, be fruitful, and multiply. Now in Genesis chapter 2, we got the different God, Yahweh El, and the reason why I'm calling it a different God is for academia, y'all, right? And he got, look, notice what he's telling him. Now he's giving him a straight another job. He say, hey, look, go keep the garden. Go dress the garden. So it went from dominion, and you know what I'm saying, to a lesser dominion, and now he got specific jobs and duties to get. So even the duties are a little different, showing you that the perspective of both creations had to come from two different mindsets, y'all.
Two different authors.
Two different authors.
Talking about Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 are not written by the same author.
It's not.
You know what I mean? Or not written by, let's use the biblical, the same scribe.
The same scribe. And look, unless you're saying this, it is written by the same scribe, but these are two total different creations. Now, look, I can even rock with you if you'll keep it real to you. At least say, well, maybe it's just two different creations. But look, you can't have all of them. You can't say it ain't two different creations and it's the same one and it's the same writer.
Right.
You're straight up being moving in ego and pride if you admit
right.
that.
Same writer, and it's just a summary or a more in-depth detail of what went down in chapter 1. We've heard that before too.
And if
we actually used to teach that.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I mean? But if you slow down and read, you'll see it's different. Look, even the order is different.
The order, everything. Look, and after we read this, we gonna break it down how different it is, y'all. So make sure y'all get out y'all pens and pads. And again, this is not to bash the Bible. This is not.
Now these are brothers, families that been doing they due diligence, families that actually been doing the extra research, families, to go into like the Greek and the Latin and the Hebrew, families, so they can get a better understanding, families, of the words that they be reading, families, from our just original KJV. These are those, man, that they don't even got the 1611. You get what I'm saying? But we talking about certain individual families that just read the Bible, families that they got at their local store, families, and without doing any deeper research. You just read it as is. When there's certain words, man, that has a meaning behind it. And when I mean about a meaning, I'm talking about a deep, deep meaning, man. And there's a reason why it's documented down. And then there's some families where it ain't even supposed to be put in it's not put in its right, proper spot, man. That's why Isaiah was trying to tell you that the Most High Yah commanded you to do things in order, families, decently in order. That's why he tell you, man, when he give you a precept means a command. So you go to a command where the Most High Yah done ordered a certain group of people or yourself, if you fit the shoes, you know what I'm saying, to do. And you go line by line from them orders, families. I see that, man. I see that, y'all. In your own scriptures that you read on a daily basis. You got to go deeper. Go deeper, man.
To bash the prophets. This is not to turn nobody out of the faith or not. This is to speak life into y'all and show y'all that it's time to choose life. Straight up, we've been serving two different gods, y'all, and we finna prove it.
Right, and the purpose of the conflict, we bringing that out, is to show you, you understand, when it comes down to choosing life, that even got to do with your diet.
Facts.
You know what I mean? We have not been choosing a life or a living diet being so-called Israelites. We choose Leviticus 11 and Deuteronomy 14, which is a death diet, and y'all, over 90% of the nation is sick as if they eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobsters. You understand? I'm talking about that's something we can observe, and that's something we can measure, which makes it a scientific fact. That's just the truth.
And could you say that again? You said the whole nation sick as if we were eating
as if we were eating pork, shrimp, crabs, and lobsters.
And we ain't, but we still sick. What do that mean? What do that mean?
And y'all know, we know. Look who I'm sitting next to. It's the master herbalist. You can only imagine the phone call him and his team get.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Everybody is sick, so what's the common denominator? It's the flesh. So we brought out the conflict last class where we talking about the prophets were in disagreement with the sacrifices of the priests. We bringing this out right here to show you the conflict, and we gonna focus on what's called the P document, the document of the priests, to show you that lion pen of the scribes came into play amongst these priests. We understand? And when we finish, not today, but when we finish with that class about the origin of them sacrifices,
the origin of sacrifice gonna blow y'all mind, boy.
You gonna understand while the prophets was at war with him, and while we telling y'all put that flesh down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Put that alcohol down and get rid of that smoke. It's time to dedicate these vessels to the Almighty and live. Now, if you think that's a doctrine of the devil, as if we just told you to sin, you understand, then you need to go get yourself checked out.
Facts.
Go get yourself checked out.
Facts. And everybody on the comment board, I can't see nobody comments, but I hope y'all listening, and I hope you listening with an open mind and not with biased opinions, not with an evil and jealous and envious heart. And I just really hope you humble yourself down and listen to this lesson. Then after you take everything in, you come up with your conclusion. I'm not giving you a conclusion. This is open. Y'all arrive to your own point. I'm not forcing this on anybody. But look, if you call yourself an intelligent, wise man, you will listen with an open mind and with a non-biased opinion, and then you will draw a conclusion at the end of the test, at the end of this entire testimony. All right.
And that's just the truth. You know what I mean? Look, Malachi, he can't validate none of y'all.
Facts.
You know what I mean? You got to be persuaded within your own mind about what's going on. You know what I mean? And in the end, we want y'all to live life and live abundantly, man. It ain't no reason to be in that mindset like, look, we all gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a Negro slave mindset.
Yeah.
I'm trying to live and live abundantly and keep growing until I enoch my body or something.
And you can't do none of that eating flesh, dead carcass, blood, and maggots. You can't. You can't do none of that eating flesh, dead carcass, blood, and maggots. You can't do it. You can't. I'm just keeping it real.
Hey, that's solid though. You know
can't.
All right, verse 16.
So basically what our brothers was getting knocked down on, families, was that after finding out this certain information, families, it made them study even more harder, families. So they end up finding out like certain factories that be butchering these animals, families. And families, man, we don't know what type of all of them are sacrifices, man. Regardless of how we see it or not. It's what the Most High Yah is putting in these scriptures and how we is getting our food, man. It's safe to eat nothing but vegetables because you got to grow them. They're meant to be meat for you. I'm starting to see this stuff, families, and I ain't even gonna lie, man. I like eating like my fish and stuff like that. But once they brought this out, it convicted me, man. Like, wow, that's deep. I didn't know. But seeing they show you, there's another video where they show you videos, families. And I think the video is like maybe like 3 minutes long, 4 minutes long. And they show you how they butcher these animals. And there's no telling how long that meat was just laying there, families, until they was able to clean it and everything. And then put it on the local market worldwide. Hamashiach start seeing what we was doing, families. Because families, what they finna to bring out shows you that Israel, everything that they needed, families, for the necessity of livelihood, they got it at the temple, families. Hamashiach saw that the men that was running the temples, families, was wicked, families, and they was selling everything for profit, man, and killing animals on top of it. It's crazy, man.
And Yahuah commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely. Mayest freely eat. But of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die.
Now, my question to you, Malachi Maccabee, reading this so far, when the scroll actually changed in Genesis chapter 2, verse 3, that's when it changed over and it started calling him a different God. Did it go back to Elohim?
It never went back.
Now it's Yahuah showing you these different scribes are calling God by a different name, by a different source. And the way that they are perceiving who Yahuah is and in the creation is two total different accounts and ways. In one, he's not dealing with creation like that. He's sitting in a cosmic realm and he's speaking it to existence. And then we got in a different instance with what we're reading now, he is hands-on in his creation. Alright, and one, you don't have no locations whatsoever. I couldn't tell you where all this stuff happened at. Like the Big Bang just happened and the land came out of the water and separated, and I don't even know where it's at. But in this one, we have direct locations on a map where we can go reference and say, oh, Assyria, that's in the Middle East. Oh, Euphrates rivers, that's in Africa. See that this is a total different account and a total different way to actually perceive a creation from two different scribes, y'all. This is not the same scribe, and if this is not the same scribe, then we cannot say that this is Moses and we only in Genesis chapter 2. There is more. It gets way deeper, y'all. Look, this is the warm-up. This presentation goes deep, so hold on to your seats and have your pens and your pad.
Yeah, and that's why I was telling the men that's fancying themselves as our ops, look, y'all shot too early. You know what I mean? We told y'all we got a lot to bring out. Let us bring it out. You know what I mean? Most of y'all gonna be calling and apologizing. Like, okay, I see what y'all saying. Damn.
Yeah, after this, most definitely.
You know what I mean, bro? Hey, look, and it's all good. We know knowledge puffers up. We ain't the ones that act like, you know, we all egotistical and all that. But all you men that ran around and let that one Negro put a battery in y'all back and charge y'all up because he can't stand for himself. You know what I mean? Shame on you.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? Y'all should have just waited. At least wait till we get done bringing everything out. Then come holler. Then do your reproof and your little videos and all that. But everybody, whether you be on Facebook or call yourself making a video about us because of what we did last week, all y'all missed.
Yeah.
You missed. You ain't, none of your shots landed.
No, we finna show y'all. We finna show y'all. And again, this is not glory and power to us. This is for the nations. We're trying to wake the people up and bring them the pure doctrine. And look, we can't call it.
So this is like so what they bringing out, families, is those you're gonna have those that like a lot of wordplay, families. They use a lot of wordplay. Then they know how to speak to you, families. They know how to speak to you, families. Get what I'm saying? They wordplay is sufficient, man. On point. I can vibe with that. I can listen to you all day type of wordplay. These people been taking stuff out, adding stuff in. They been doing that, families, and that's why the Most High y'all been telling us to do precepts. Makes perfect sense now. Crystal clear. It makes perfect sense now. Because once you get this truth that's been written in your Bible, but no, some people want to sit there and say, no, go to the NIV, go to the SIV, go to this version just because it's worded better. It's just worded better, y'all.
Doctrine pure, if it's so many contradictions and if it's so many miseditings, it's so much, y'all, it's gonna blow your mind. So how can we say no? Yahweh is pure. His first begotten is pure. That's what's pure. We didn't ordain a book as our God, and that's what we messed up at. We don't ordain writings from men our God, and that's what we messed up at. You know what I'm saying? That's what we messed up at. And let's keep it real. We all done did it. I done read something. I've been reading these contradictions for years and been looking straight over them, showing you how indoctrinated and how enslaved I was. You see that? We have to come to the conclusion that maybe, just maybe, we've been given lies, and Satan have integrated himself in our book, because that's exactly what he did. And look, we not just gonna talk about it, we gonna show and prove you. Look, we gonna...
And y'all make sure y'all go check out Yaki Awakening, man. He does a lot of things over there, man. Zion, they has been doing some wonderful things. We finna go back to Benia Israel. I'm gonna play maybe 5 minutes of that, families, because the phone finna ready to die. And I'm just gonna play the information until the phone go black. I want to say that I love you, Yasharal. But the children of Yasharal are scattered around the off four corners of this planet. The true chosen seed of Yah. I want to say that we are forever out your sons and daughters of Zion. And we been out your Yasharal. I want to say, man, to the kings on the earth, the Akis. Man, shalom. Shalom. And I love you, bros. Man, to the daughters of Sarah, the Akis, and our loving Imas. I want to say that I love you. Let's get this last food until the phone go black. So that's why I've been MIA a lot, families. Just taking up information, seeing what the rest of Israel is bringing out for families and its our families, and seeing who else is talking about the exact same thing. And seeing who putting out work in this our family. So I want to say all praises to the Most High for making most people. We got 6%, y'all. So we ain't got long. Let me be quiet. All praise to the Most High. All praises. Let's go to our last video. and then got lost in the history. I'm finna find it, families. There you go.
The Lord has made plain his desire for the African race. The Lord has said to
Shalom family, it's your brother Benaiah Ben Israel, coming to you with a quick review of the Amazon series called Them. Now, if you haven't checked it out, I do want to warn you, it's graphic and it has violence and strong language. However, this series is a perfect example of messages hidden in plain sight within movies and TV shows. So with that in mind, I'd like to show you a few clips from episodes 9 and 10, which have strong references to Israel and the plight of the so-called black man. I believe you'll find the following clips interesting, to say the least. So spoiler warnings, if you haven't seen episodes 9 and 10, Yah willing, we will discuss plots from both episodes, so you have been warned. Alright, so let's begin by reading the series summary, which reads, Them is an anthology series that explores terror in America. The first season, set in 1950s, centers around a black family who moved from North Carolina to an all-white Los Angeles neighborhood. Their idyllic home becomes ground zero where malevolent forces, next door and otherworldly, threaten to taunt, ravage, and destroy them. And so, episode 9 starts with a flashback to an earlier history of the Los Angeles community. And we start off by seeing the European pastor grieving over the loss of his son, asking God why his son was taken.
their kindness, their pity against me. I do not want their kindness. I want to shake the world to its foundations. I want to know why you took my son. Please, Lord, if you might answer me just this one time.
Alright, so after he prays to the one he calls the Lord, he hears a sound from a bush where he finds a small Gentile European boy. Now, just to point out the symbolism, when he prayed, he found an answer in a bush. Alright, he found it in a bush. And oh, by the way, fam, feel free to write any observations in the comments section as well. And again, just another warning, it is graphic, strong language, so definitely not for children, if you know what I mean. Alright, so back to the story. The Christian pastor prays to the one he calls the Lord and asks why his son was taken. Then he finds a European child in the bush.
Okay, families, man, I do want to get it to a point, families, man, where I do want to display this to everybody, just so y'all won't miss nothing, man. I don't want the phone just go dead on us You know, because I'm at 4% right now, so I don't want it to go dead on this families in the middle of this, because it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So we're gonna play 2 joints, families, and rock it on out. Let's go. Hey, beautiful Queen Anointed. Shalom, Auntie. It's good to see you, Ina. I love you, Queen.
Yeah, right back in here for the struggle. You feel me? Them the doorway. Yahuah more than them, man. Trench rules for life. Basement boys. Yeah.
That's a right.
Tired of living like the same. Say my action has to change. Keep your wool on my brain. Narrow is the lane. That flesh I had to tame. I'm being watered by the pain. Lord, cleanse me like the rain. King of life, I'm trying to gain. My people dying in the streets, but they poison what we eat. Daily life is very steep. Babylon, we gon' defeat. What you sow is what you reap. You either evil or you clean. Tares different from the wheat. Gold is different than the sheep. Trying to clear my debt away from the way that I started. Many years living life, mind calloused and hearted. Needed surgery, so I went and brokered the father. Say he wrote a special book, so we call him the author. My mom was buried like a seed, had to grow up in darkness. My people buried like a seed, time to bring them some water. Churches line me up, man, the meals put me in order. Made me a better father for my sons and my daughter. Didn't need direction, my protection from these snakes and these beasts. Want you who are covering now, so we pray to the east. Was slipping in my early 20s, now I grip like some cleats. Yahuah gon' trump them all, make them bow to the chief. Cause tired of living like the same. Say my action has to change. Keep your wool on my brain. Narrow is the lane. That flesh I had to tame. I'm being watered by the pain. Lord, cleanse me like the rain. King of life, I'm trying to gain. My people dying in the streets, but they poison what we eat. Daily life is very steep. Babylon, we gon' defeat. What you sow is what you reap. You either evil or you clean. Tares different from the wheat. Gold is different than the sheep.
Headed in a new direction. Torah gave me direction. On the straight and narrow. Ain't no intersection. No one to intercede. Salvation is the lead. Faith is what you need. The size of a mustard seed. We don't do the gluttony. We don't do the greed. We don't eat the pork or the roaches of the sea. Y'all gon' plant the seed. Who will tell you a weed? We can tell by the fruit. If you grew up, we chop the tree. Ooh, yeah. All my life I have been lied to. All my life I've been going the wrong way. Hey, now I switch lanes and walk the path of truth. Now y'all my GPS, I'm going the right way.
Tired of living like the same. Say my action has to change. Keep your wool on my brain. Narrow is the lane. That flesh I had to tame. I'm being watered by the pain. Lord, cleanse me like the rain. King of life, I'm trying to gain. My people dying in the streets, but they poison what we eat. Daily life is very steep. Babylon, we gon' defeat. What you sow is what you reap. You either evil or you clean. Tares different from the wheat. Gold is different than the sheep. Okay. 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 Learned a lot about myself. I got it. Now I gotta walk it out. I'm about it. Old man gone, so change the topic. Yeah. Walk this broad way and we straight.
I went into the phone, guys. Family got 3%.
Mine goes forever. Ain't going nowhere. Feel
Let's go, Yahuah.
Learned a lot about myself. I got it. Now I gotta walk it out. I'm about it. Old man gone, so change the topic.
Miranda. People King Riri, King Will I Am. Let's go.
Walk this broad way and we straight. Duck off in my closet anytime that I pray. Critic persecuting, I don't see it in my face. 1,000 years of peace is the thing that I chase. My partner lost his daughter and I heard all the cries. Prepare for persecution, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Only trust Yahuah in his palm where I glide. Everything gonna be okay. I destroyed all my pride, brood ways. Conversations be so crazy how they harbor the hate. Quick to say they love you, but they have the actions of snakes. Scripture show me how to peep it while I'm standing today. Eating manna quick, grits, you should get you a plate. Yeah, life hard, but I pray. Foreign Father, please show them that you got them today. It's some sisters like storm, cause we see them as prey. I got some daughters in this world, so they mental I raise. Too many brews, start switching, more attention I pay. Sending blues, clues back to a treaty that pays. Yahuah built this brood tough, you can't rattle this cage. 4,000 years of peace, had a swift in my pace. Trying to turn souls back, persecution we face. If you think it's black and white, now you losing the race. Resurrecting our culture, we removing the tape. The brew way, pour the brew away, and we straight. Duck off in my closet anytime that I pray. Critic persecuting, I don't see it in my face. 1,000 years of peace is the thing that I chase. My partner lost his daughter and I heard all the cries. Prepare for persecution, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Only trust Yahuah in his palm where I glide. Everything gonna be okay. I destroyed all my things.
Through faith, my knees, I pray. My sins can't stay, gotta wash them away. I change, I'm new, I change my view. Torah stuck to me like glue. That old man ain't got a clue, trying to become part of that chosen few. Chose the Bible, my instructions, it's gonna tell me what to do. Basic instructions before leaving the earth. You a king before a thug, brother, know your worth. You a prince before a gangster, homie, break the curse. He spent you so many times, it could have been worse. Hey, death to that old man, lesson learned. And set fire to that old path and let it burn. Brew away.
Pour the brew away and we straight. Duck off in my closet anytime that I pray. Critic persecuting, I don't see it in my face. 1,000 years of peace is the thing that I chase. My partner lost his daughter and I heard all the cries. Prepare for persecution, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Only trust Yahuah in his palm where I glide. Everything gonna be okay. I destroyed all my pride. Brew away.
To the album, present my vocals a slaughter offering. Deep thoughts as I'm switching lane, mine is drifting often. Humble meek in my root, I'm listening to them talking. If they got a whole lot to say, always proceed with caution. A foolish man will sell wolf tickets and keep on barking. Wise man will hit him with shalom and back up off him. If he only knew that rebellion would surely cost him. Mama crying, yellow, take body outline and chalk then. When we truly get it, cut ties from things that's wicked. Barak Yahuah for his sober living. The soldiers driven that speak words only I was given. Reaching the children of Adam and cool the sinners before the ending.
Pour the brew away and we straight. Duck off in my closet anytime that I pray. Critic persecuting, I don't see it in my face. 1,000 years of peace is the thing that I chase. My partner lost his daughter and I heard all the cries. Prepare for persecution, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. Only trust Yahuah in his palm where I glide. Everything gonna be okay. I destroyed all my pride. Brew away. Hey.
Keep it going to the phone, go black time. Let's go.
Cool grand. Mine goes forever. It ain't going nowhere. You feel me?
Got 2%. Let's go.
Learned a lot about myself. I got it. Now I gotta walk it out. I'm about it. Old man gone, so change the topic. Yeah.
I serve the Lord by serving you. Anything you need me to do, no excuse on making moves. If we kick it, you gon' come out thinking different. Unaware of the fact that I was really lifting your spirit. I don't judge none of y'all cause I was once in your position. But instead I show love and allow this light to shine within me. I don't fool with religion, I go on my intuition. I am one with my Abba and y'all could come in with it. I be deep off in the trenches trying to pull my people up. But these wicked ass Pharisees keeping them all stuck. Funny how they preach unity when they divided up. And if you with a different camp, they'll never show you love. Look, I don't know how I'm able to stand with all this weight on my back. Feel like I'm carrying the world and I'm starting to crack. Losing my faith in all these people who claim to believe in God. Why is that? Cause they all hypocrites, can't take them serious. And that's the main reason why I beat on myself. Cause I'm not good at being fake like everyone else. The truth is they don't like me cause I think for myself. I had to leave cause they were toxic and that's bad for my health. I love them to death, but I can't waste no more of my energy on these Hebrew Israelites. Cause in their eyes I'm the enemy, but I'm learning that's how it be when you walking like Christ. But it's gonna be alright, I praise the most high, no lie. I never thought I would master my mind. How'd you do it? I had to take it one day at a time. Through meditation I found out that's the key to salvation. The moment I entered into myself I got confirmation. Remember
when y'all should say, in order to follow me, you gotta deny yourself and cut away everything that's attached to the flesh, but most don't wanna do that. Only a few has what it takes to put themselves through the test. I share my life with the world so they can see the progress. People try to praise me, but I ain't care about all that. I'm not here for the likes, I'm on a mission to raise those who spiritually dead. I mean, what more can I say? When you look at my face, you see my Abba in me. That's the light we all admit when we do all the right things. I ain't telling no lies, you gotta open your eyes, and when you do, you will see I was on your side the whole time. Yeah. All the fire in this lamp,